to contribute to what Zimbabwe or outside Zimbabwe. We don't take that for granted. Thank you very much, and please to do more, do share this link with other people so that we can have this conversation together. We want all Zimbabweans here. We want every concerned citizen to be here tonight or today, depending on where you are. Let me also take time to welcome our viewers and listeners on YouTube, because we are live on Change Radio YouTube. We are also live on Change Radio Facebook, and we are also live on Change Radio TikTok. We want to welcome you all from wherever you are listening from. We appreciate you. Please do find a way of contributing to what is going on in Zimbabwe right now. Today we are in Zambia, and we are saying we all need to join hands. We need to come together. We need to unite for this purpose. We need to stand up for Zimbabwe in Zambia. We know what is happening in Zambia. There is a big meeting that is going on there this week from the 11th to the 12th. But I know some people have been going around saying the 13th, and that the protest will be happening on the 13th. That's misinformation. You know whom I'm talking to, whom I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention names. So that's the reason why we're saying, as Zimbabweans, we need to be careful whom we are dealing with, and we also need to find out information on our own, not to wait for a few individuals, not to wait for one individual to give you information. That information might not be correct. And as Change Radio, we took it upon ourselves, together with other Zimbabweans in Namibia, in Zambia, in Botswana, in South Africa, and we found out exactly when this ministerial meeting is happening, and we confirmed that it's on the 11th and the 12th. On the 11th, Zimbabwe is on the agenda, and obviously that's when the takeover begins. That Emmerson Mnangagwa becomes chairperson of SADC. And you are here today. Most of you are here today. We know that Marrakesh will always come in, always sneak in, will always want to be there so that they hear what we are discussing. We don't have a problem with that. But most of us, we are here because we do not agree with what SADC is about to do, with what SADC is trying to do, to hand over the chairmanship of SADC to someone who is illegitimate, to someone who stole an election, to someone whose presidents and leadership is under scrutiny right now in Zimbabwe. And we are saying no to that, because SADC itself wrote a very damning report on Zimbabwe, confirming what every Zimbabwean was saying, that the election was fraud with irregularities, that the election was stolen, that the election was not free and fair. We all agree on that. And together with SADC, we agreed on that. So now, why on earth is Emmerson Mnangagwa becoming SADC chairperson? You know, obviously at the behest of the same SADC leaders that read the report and adopted the report. But of course, we cannot pile all the blame on SADC because we as Zimbabweans, and I'm always saying this, unfortunately, Zimbabweans don't like to be told the truth. If you say the truth, fingers are pointed at you. We cannot entirely blame SADC, because even ourselves, when we were told and when we saw, when we witnessed ZANU-PF stealing an election, we did not do anything. We did not do nothing. We also witnessed and saw ZANU-PF coming with an imposter in the name of Shabangu, and Shabangu destroyed our movement, destroyed the citizen movement. He even withdrew our members of parliament that we all voted for, members of parliament that we all supported as citizens in the diaspora. And what did we do? We did not do anything. We did nothing. So how would we have expected SADC to do something, to come in and intervene? I know a lot of lies were pushed after the elections. There is an election coming in June. We have another election. Let's get ready. And Change Radio was the only media that went out and told everyone PF, so that we relax, so that we do not do anything, so that we do not rise, so that we, even our anger goes down, because we know that there is another election coming. You know, that's ZANU-PF for you. They are smart to that extent. When it comes to consolidating their power, they are smart like that. So now we have been given yet another opportunity for us to rise, for us to say something, for us to stand up. This meeting presents an opportunity, a great opportunity for Zimbabweans wherever we are. It doesn't matter. You are in UK, you're in America, you're in Zambia, you're in Zimbabwe. This is an opportunity for us to stand up, rise up, and say something about what is about to go on in Zambia. And we have people ready in Zambia that are prepared to stand up and do exactly that. And we here, we play the supporting role. And we expect Zimbabweans to do what they've always done, especially those in the diaspora, to support in every way possible, so that on the 11th, we have numbers, we have people, we have hundreds, if not thousands of Zimbabweans in Lusaka. We'll hear more. They are going to be joining. We'll be having speakers from Zambia. We have speakers from Botswana. We have speakers from South Africa, from Namibia. They have been meeting all this time behind the scenes, planning for that. And some of them have already started traveling. So we'll hear what has been going on, so that we can come in. Change Radio, I think you can get us started. I was just doing my part to welcome people, but you know me, you know, once I get started, I will not stop. So over to you.
Thank you very much for that. I think that some of our speakers, or I've seen them, or has it dropped? I don't know whether you want them to come up now, because I can see Kaxman is here already. He's been here from the start of the space. But I just wanted to hand over to Champion Mildred so she can say a few words and greet people, and then we can bring him up. Thank you.
Thank you, Champion Patricia. Thank you, Chief. Welcome to the space. We value you taking time to join us. But this is a serious matter, like Chief said, that we're discussing. I think we have been back and forth about SADC and about Emerson Mnangagwa taking over chairmanship of SADC. However, as Zimbabweans, it's time that we take action. We can't rely, which we have done, as Chief said, so many times on others doing the work for us. We have Zambia, we have Namibia, we have South Africa, we have Botswana taking action. We should learn from this. If anything, we should take a leaf of Kenya's book. Recently, the young people of Kenya took to the streets to protest against the bill, and because they were one voice, that action yielded results. And I think, our young people have got something to look at and emulate. And as Zimbabweans, I think it's time that we take action rather than just talk, and expect others to do the work for us. So thank you all for joining this space. Over to you, Champion Patricia.
Thank you so much for that. I think you might be wondering why we're talking about the wrong of Mnangagwa taking over the chairmanship, because I think most people already know that it's rotational. And so this year is Zimbabwe's year. But what we are saying is that based on the challenges and issues that are faced in Zimbabwe, from the flawed elections that we have witnessed over the last few years. So every time we have elections, the elections are rigged. There is no rule of law. The current administration are in breach of the constitution that they were a party to signing. Last year in August, SADC themselves talked about the flawed elections, the fact that there was intimidation, and that it wasn't free and fair. And with all of these and the gross human rights violations that we continue to witness. So, for example, former Senator Timber and the 78 arrested in Avondale, being denied bail. What we would have wanted to see if SADC was a democratic institution was for them to sit down and say, actually, we don't think it is the right thing to hand over the chairmanship to Zimbabwe at the moment until they have corrected or fixed all of these challenges that are within their country. But they can't do that because we all know that within SADC, in the majority of those Southern African countries, they are led by dictators. And so SADC has become an institution that is not credible in itself, and the leaders are not credible, and they will never challenge Zimbabwe. And I think one of the reasons why they wouldn't challenge Zimbabwe is the excuse that it's a sovereign nation and that they have a right to do what they do and that they cannot intervene directly. And we know exactly what they mean by that. And to some extent, that can be right. But what we are saying is we need to take a step back to reflect and then maybe to change how SADC rotate the chairmanship. So maybe in 5 years' time, when Zimbabwe is in the right space, that they can come back and say, right, now Zimbabwe, it's your turn. But there is no thinking in that respect. It's their turn. They're afraid of ruffling Mnangagwa's feathers, so they'll just go ahead and do it. Why are they afraid of ruffling his feathers? Because they are in it together. If you recall, was it 2 years ago, the issue of the sale of maize from, I think, before the current Tanzanian president came on board, and how they were selling the maize at a very high rate. I think it was 3 to 4 times higher per ton to Zimbabwe. And so that's how it happens. And that is how they loot and steal. They collaborate in the looting, in the stealing from their countries, in emptying the coffers and siphoning the money outside of their own countries into Switzerland, maybe not so much Switzerland now, but into Dubai. That's where the money is held, and into Malaysia, Singapore, and all those types of countries. That's where the wealth goes to. And so they can never really challenge Mnangagwa because they are all, as we say in Shona, so it's impossible for them to do that to their friends. And it's such a shame. And so these countries that are going to be coming and talking later today are taking action in their countries to say to SADC, we've had enough. This is unacceptable. You need to change. The leadership of SADC needs to change, or that institution needs to be disbanded because it is no longer fit for purpose. It's actually become a joke now. Not many people trust it, and not many people respect it. And so it's important that, those that are doing action, that we are there to support them, to amplify their messages, here in the UK, there's some action that is planned in August to do with the handover of the chairmanship. But before the handover of the chairmanship, we've got the big issue, which I've already mentioned, around former Senator Timber and the 78 who adapt the Avondale 78 who are incarcerated, and we need to do something about it. And I will talk a bit more about what we're doing here in the UK in terms of just keeping those types of gross violations on the agenda so that we're not forgetting. When we look at the political landscape in Zimbabwe today and what happened to the Triple C, you've got Mnangagwa leading his own team, and then there's Shabangu there. We don't know what's happening to Shabangu and who he's working with, whether they're all in it together. Because, when we listen to Welshman speaking, he seemed to allude to the fact that, they were talking to him, had been talking to him. There's not much clarity around that. But what is very interesting is that the Avondale 78 were arrested and put in prison because of their alignment to President Chamisa. So anything and everything that has Chamisa name on it, the regime are bent on destroying. They are bent on shutting down those voices because they know those are the real voices that are fighting for change. And so we cannot sit down and do nothing. And if you live in the UK, wherever you are, if you want to come on Tuesday, the 9th of July at 3 p.m. at Parliament Square in London, so it's just outside Parliament, we will have UK MPs that are going to come to that, and that they're going to lend their voice in calling out the Zimbabwe regime and in asking for the Avondale 78 to be released. So throughout the space, I'm going to come back and I'm going to remind people about it. If you can't come, you can tweet, you can tell others, you can talk about it. We just want to make sure that people don't forget the situation in Zimbabwe, that the gross human rights violations haven't stopped. They are targeted, and they are always targeted against anyone that has Nelson Chamisa name or those aligned to him. So I'm going to stop there. I think I've spoken more than I needed to. And I have seen that we have Skaxman left. Oh no, he's still here. So I think I'm just going to give him the mic now, and then Chief Shoshe, you can then introduce him. But before we do that, Zedivina, welcome. Would you like to take it away, please?
Thank you, my sister Change Radio. Thank you, and hello everyone on the space, including Chief, my sister Mildred, Prof. My brother Kaxman, it's great that you're here with us tonight. Very exciting. And I see a lot of great people there. Great people means Zimbabwean citizens. Some of us, we consider it our only qualification that we speak on Zimbabwean issues because we are Zimbabweans first. And that's our biggest qualification. So when you see and hear Zimbabweans gathered like we are here tonight, Cadets of Change Radio, that's a good day for Zimbabwe. If some of you have been following what's going on in Kenya, the president of Kenya literally had to come to Twitter Spaces so he could address Gen Z. So never ever think that your voices are not heard. We are Zimbabwe Diaspora voices, and we speak from everywhere, from the UK, from South Africa, from America, from Canada. And Cadets of Change Radio, we're having these very critical conversations. And it's very refreshing that these conversations are not limited to Zimbabwe. They're happening in Zambia, they're happening in South Africa. What's going to end up happening in our country solely depends on what we Zimbabwean citizens do. And we need to keep talking about it. We need to keep talking about the folly of handing over the chairmanship to someone who is obviously a dictator. SADC leadership, SADC citizens need to hear this. So when we have an array of speakers, including my brother Joseph Kalimwe, it's a good day for Zimbabwe and for SADC. So I look forward to hearing from these speakers and many more Zimbabwean voices, and we should never be quiet. Right now, we have scored some victories, actually. I hope some of you have seen the Zimbabwe Arise campaign, which says no to 2030, no to dictatorship. No, so 2030 is actually off the table now. No to SADC chairmanship under the current conditions. Let's keep saying no, and let's keep speaking. Thank you, my sister Change Radio.
Thank you, Dr. Ranga. I'm seeing Cooksman. I don't know. You have to clarify that because I'm hearing some people calling him Cooksman. I call him Cooksman. You have to clarify what name he goes with or what he prefers, the proper pronunciation there. So thank you, Cooksman, for agreeing to come to speak to us. You know, Zimbabweans, sometimes they want to see the big names on posters and everywhere. But what we have come to understand, especially from what is happening in Kenya, that it is these young people that we must empower. The young people have the keys to everything that we are looking for. So we are going to be getting these young people wherever they are to come here and speak. We also invited some youth students that we work with at Change Radio, Masiwa, in this group. They will also request the mic. And if you are already here, you are from the University of Zimbabwe or from NAST or one of the students that we invited, please request the mic. I'm also seeing some of our speakers here, Mr. Ndlovu, Trust Ndlovu, from South Africa. Please do request the mic. Champion Patricia, if you are seeing Trust Ndlovu, I can see him. Do give him the mic so he can tell us what South Africa is doing for this program that we are gathered here for. My brother Bond, Fundis Bond from Namibia, Honorable Mavoko from Botswana. I'm not seeing you yet here. If you are here and I'm not seeing you, because sometimes I'm not sure which handle you're using or which name you are getting in with, just request the mic or inbox me and let me know which handle you're using. We want to hear what you have planned so far. I know a lot has been going on. I've been attending some of the meetings, so I know plans are at an advanced stage. And let me also clarify the confusion that might be there. It's not even a confusion. We know that there are a lot of people that are working for this protest. We have Gambakwe on the other hand. He has done a lot. We might not agree with the way he does things, but to me, he has done his part. He has played his part. I know some people have questioned why he went to Botswana alone. He might have gone to Botswana alone because some Zimbabweans were not prepared to do that. And we know ourselves, we don't normally show up for things like that. That's why you see Twitter spaces that have to do with Zimbabwe. There are not so many people, but if we are talking about Nyaze Makuwa, Zanamaititi, Zanani, there will be thousands of people. We have come to accept that. That's okay. We will work with what we have. So we have Gambagwe organizing a platform with other Zimbabweans. I don't know who. And we also have the bishops, the men and women of God, led by Bishop Nyamakanga. I know he was intimidated into doing what he did, and some people he say, he is a CIO, he is what? I mean, we are always quick to say that. I don't want to point fingers. Right now, anyone who is fighting Emerson Mnangagwa is a friend. But for now, we have those people that should be in Zambia, all things being equal. And of course, we have the citizens in Zambia, South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, the ones that were in the former CCC. They are also organizing a protest. So at the end of the day, if everyone comes, we're saying they're going to be there. You know, the more the merrier. It doesn't matter which side you're coming from. What we want numbers at this protest. You know, it's actually good that we have different people coming from different constituencies, you know, that are thinking the same way, that are agreeing, that are saying we cannot allow Emmerson Mnangagwa to become chairman of SADC. We have to raise our concerns. SADC has to hear, has to know that we, the people, we, the citizens of Zimbabwe, are not happy about that. They may decide to go ahead, but I think it is very good. It is very good for us to voice our opinions, especially if it can be done on the 11th. I know there are people that will be there before that are going to make some engagements, high-level engagements with some high officials, including former Vice President Mumba. Whatever is going to come out of there should lead to a discussion of that nature in the ministerial meeting that will start on the 11th and push on to the 12th. So it is good that we have all those people working for one good thing. So I just wanted to make that clear. So do we have Coxman on the speakers? Not yet. Okay, but I can see that Mr. Trustendorf, the former chairperson of Southern Africa, is here, and he has been talking to a lot of people there. Over to you, Mr. Ndlovu. What's our readiness to the Zambia protests?
Good day to everyone. Thank you very much, Mr. Chief, Sister Mildred, and sisters from the Change Radio, and all the staff of Change Radio, Dr. Ranga, Kutzman, and everybody. Thank you, leadership, all the Zimbabweans here. I appreciate your presence. Really appreciate the role that you are playing in the struggle to unseat this dictator, to unseat Emmerson Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF. By the way, this is no longer about only the leaders of ZANU-PF, but we want to get rid of the whole ZANU-PF, because the whole ZANU-PF, that system, they carry the E-system, they advance the system of oppression, the system of dictatorship. You can remove Mnangagwa today, tomorrow there will be Mtswangwa, there will be others, there will be Chiwenga. They will still carry on with the evil system that have given us hard time. That is a system which has created displacement, created poverty, created all the hardships that led to our people going all over the whole world. So it's not only about one leader. Yes, from South Africa, we are putting concerted efforts in trying to ground in Zambia already, in Lusaka, and we are working through our former structures. You know, I know that people always politics and say, who are you? What are you doing as who? Unfortunately, we have not dissolved our structures. Those who have read about the liberation struggle at the time when people were called, comrades were called to go to assembly point, not all did they go. They did not even dismantle their structures. We also have not dismantled our structures, unfortunately. That's why sometimes you hear our former chairpersons, our former districts, our former branches and stuff like that. They still remain intact. We are still in the struggle. There's no Congress which dissolved all that. So we have resigned as a SADC. I was speaking to Honorable Timber before he got arrested. And he was saying that, little guys, as we remain as opposition leaders and in our own role, but we don't claim anything. We claim to remain citizens. We will fight as citizens, and we don't want to exclude anyone by keeping our struggle roles. So we are doing the support. We're working, communicating with everybody that is interested in going to and conscientizing people to go and protest. Protesting may not be an issue of because of time frames. Maybe the process of getting police clearance may be a challenge, but we are saying there's an option of picketing. And the Zambia being the country that is prone to democracy, we have understood that we can go there and try to do even protest. And I don't see us being harassed or being arrested by Zambian authorities, because they really understand that our situation in Zimbabwe, and that as Zimbabweans we need to fight from different places. One of the platforms that we should use as Zimbabweans to fight for our rights, to fight against this dictatorship. Now, this dictatorship should not be extended to SADC. This dictatorship should not be extended to SADC ministerial committees on organ, on Troika. So we are saying if SIOM report was able to say the elections in Zimbabwe did not meet even the minimal standards of democratic principles of SADC and guidelines of SADC, this means that anyone who put himself there as president other than the one that was contesting him, which is Advocate Nelson Chamisa, or other than the one that would have been chosen if there were re-elections, then that person is a dictator. That person is not a legitimate leader. That person is not a legitimate president, meaning Emerson Mnangagwa is not a legitimate president. So therefore, we know that the ministers, the SADC Ministerial Committee, they are going to discuss and come out with resolutions, and we go with the recommendations, their principles to their SADC heads of states, who are going to agree and even allow this Mnangagwa to become a member, a chairman of SADC again. And once he becomes the chairman of SADC, it will be very difficult for the international community, for SADC and others, and us to say he is not legitimate. It is going to be very difficult for anyone to come and say this president is not legal when he was legitimized by SADC itself, because by making him the chairperson, he will be able to have influence and control the policies of such an important and critical body in our region, which represents democracy, which represents the values and principles of democracy in our region, especially on the issues of security, on peace and defense, and economic development. So we want to keep on encouraging everyone, but most importantly, of course, we know that people who are on the ground, they got challenges. They got challenges. Some they don't have even a place to sleep. Some they don't have enough resources. But we thank God that for those who have already contributed towards their upkeeping, but we still have some who are coming from South Africa, from Zambia, Botswana, and from Zimbabwe itself. So my appeal to those who are on the ground and those who are going, I want to say, like, let's mobilize, let's conscientize as many Zimbabweans who are in Zambia as possible and make them gather there. Because what ZANU-PF does not want to see is to see Zimbabweans being captured by international cameras, displayed in international TV, international community, seeing that Zimbabweans are protesting, Zimbabweans are not agreeing with the narrative propaganda of Mnangagwa that he often put up there, that our people are peaceful, they are in consent, they are in agreement with what we are doing. It's only you foreigners, international observers, or which was echoed by the CM report, who are not happy with what is happening in Zimbabwe. They are claiming that they are happy, everything is happy. So the issue of sovereignty, that's where it comes in. And the issue of Kambakwe, when he went there as a journalist. He went there and of course, he bulldozed somehow used some people who are our people who are there, and they gave him an access. He managed to speak to few individuals inside there in Botswana at the SADC. So, well, like our chief have said that sometimes we don't have to, we must focus on the bigger picture. He played a good role. He came out with some of the information that most of the Zimbabwean people were not aware of. And we are saying, no, let's act. So using some of the information that he managed to sift there. The fact that he went alone as a journalist, he was not, of course, he was representing the media according to him, whatever. But let's put that aside and focus on the bigger picture, on the main objective. Yes, I don't know how much time I have. I'm sorry if I've taken too long speaking, but I want to echo on the sentiments and the other issues which were raised by our sister from Radio Change there. I say her name, Map or something. So when it comes to the issue of SADC, being complacent with dictatorship in Zimbabwe, being compromising the justice and freedom, compromising the violation of human rights in Zimbabwe. Yes, I agree with you fully. It's that of some point I even grouped some people here in South Africa, and we marched from Mandela Bridge in Johannesburg to Pretoria, about 50 kilometers, trying to highlight why Ramaphosa was then the chairman of AU. Why did they not use what we call African peer review mechanism, which is a mechanism which allows them to reach out to their peers, to reach out to Zimbabwe and tell them actually not to do that. We had only one man, one statement who is late now, Nelson Mandela, who was able to stand in Africa and a ridiculous President Mugabe, the former President Mugabe then, on his dictatorship. Do we need such kind of leaders? If we can, SADC, if we can raise such kind of leaders, such the caliber of leaders like Julius Nyerere, like others who could stand up for democracy, for the weak, who could stand up for the vulnerable people in our member states, in our countries, then we will be able to say. But for now, we have very weak SADC leaders who are not able. They know, most of them in the corridors are here that they are against what is happening in ZANU-PF. But we have very few who can stand up and challenge the status quo right now. And this is what we are saying, young people, if they can actually fill up those positions from different member states. Lastly, my last point is that we have formed and registered from South Africa an organization which we call SADC, Citizens Democratic Society. This is an organization where we plan to launch very soon and create a platform for people, in particular from SADC member states, like in South Africa, Botswana, Zambia, and all those ones in SADC, to say you have a right to fight for democracy. You have the right to back democracy, to support democracy, to fight against dictatorship in neighboring countries, to fight everywhere where dictatorship is. It's like the one in Zimbabwe. It's very peculiar. I mean, we have
about 17 out of 20 criteria which were violated, which could not meet, where Zimbabwe could not meet the requirement for a democratic election. So I'm just saying this in passing. But indeed, thank you very much, leadership. I think I've taken so much now. I'm sorry about that. It's over to you, my leader, the champion.
Thank you. Please do not go out. You can close your mic. Okay, thank you. Do not go away. We may have questions for you. You can hear people are, a little cagey with information, because we know that ZANU-PF will be lying in wait to hear the plans, to hear what is going on. But what I picked up from him is that there are already champions that are already on their way to Zambia, and the others will be following, which is a good thing. Thank you very much for that. As such, we, like he was saying, people are traveling on their own, using their own resources. But we do have students that we are trying to mobilize in Zambia that are all over Zambia, but they may not have, obviously, they will not have transport. People will fail to have money. Things are not as good as they are here in the diaspora. We are trying to get buses for the students. There are now many Zimbabwean students in Zambia. So if you want to contribute to that, if you want to donate to that, we are going to post a link there so that we can help them. Even the permit that Mr. Ndlovu was talking about, to get a permit in Zambia, you need to have money. In any case, everywhere where you try to demonstrate, you have to pay something for the police to issue you with the permit. It's even worse in Africa. So all those are things that we are grappling with, the organizers are grappling with. Accommodation for those that are going to travel. There are some that are traveling from Zimbabwe as we are speaking. They will need food, they will need accommodation. They've already sacrificed by jumping in the buses on their own. So whatever you can do, please, let's get ready to do that. We are going to hand over to one of our youth, Cooksman. Please go ahead and take up the mic. Let's hear the thoughts of the young people around the issue of Emmerson Mnangagwa becoming chairperson. Are you, the youth of our nation, happy about that, and what are we doing about it?
Hello, everyone. Hello, Chief Sose, and all co-hosts, and everyone on the panel, and all listeners. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I would say for too long, I think as the youth of Zimbabwe, we have failed our nation, and we've been giving ourselves a lot of excuses. I felt so challenged the last time I was watching demonstrations in Kenya, and I realized that the problems that our country is facing right now is mainly because of us, especially the youth, because we are the ones with the future which is being destroyed. You can think of right now, I was seeing those sons of Robert Mugabe. I think Robert Mugabe managed to, put up a lot of wealth that will, benefit generations and generations to come. We have like the sons and sons of those, children of Robert Mugabe probably will not even go to work. They'll be just eating those monies. And it's us now and our generations to come who will be suffering because of this few individuals who are holding our country's ransom. So really, we need to take it upon ourselves and make sure that we do something. I think we have been seeking SADC's attention for far too long, and we've been pleading for them to address our disputed elections, human rights abuses, and I believe now is the perfect time to demonstrate and demand action. Looking at what's been happening in Kenya, the recent protests showed me that peaceful demonstration can bring attention and spark change. So we must surely learn from our neighbors and take a stand. So I believe this whole thing about challenging the handover of the SADC chairmanship to Emmerson Mnangagwa, it's really, really a vital. Not only that, and also the fact that SADC also is about to come and host an event in our country. We have them, at our own home ground. We've been yearning to get their attention. Now they're coming. It's time, no matter what. If they have to kill us, then they have to kill us in front of SADC. And SADC should witness what we have been all saying, that no, this government, this ZANU-PF thing is a terrorist organization. They have to witness this. We have to expose ZANU-PF. We have to expose SADC. And they have to be left without an option, but rather probably to cancel the handover of the chairmanship to Emmerson Mnangagwa. Because think of it, Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF are not neutral. They have consistently abused our conscience, suppressed our rights, and rigged election. Handing him the SADC chairmanship would destroy Zimbabwe's democracy. It will also jeopardize peace in Zambia, where ZANU-PF is interfering with the Hichilema's administration, and definitely undermine the entire African region. So really, I think even if there were some Zambians here, young people, they would probably help us, because this will not just affect Zimbabwe, but the whole of Africa, and to be more precise, Zambia. Because Zambia, I think in the next few years, they're going to be having elections. We've seen what has been happening ever since Lungu came to Zimbabwe, and they were celebrating the rigging of elections. And when you went back to Zambia, ever since then, there have been problems in Zambia. Is that interference of ZANU-PF? We can talk of even the influx of immigrants, undocumented immigrants, Zimbabweans into South Africa, countries like Botswana. It's all because of ZANU-PF. So really, we also need to try and find support from youth from our neighboring countries and deal with this thing for once. With this, I say thank you.
Chief, I'm not sure if you're speaking, but we can't hear you. Thank you, Cooksman. Really powerful submission there, and I think encouraging words for our youth. Thank you very much. Over to you, Change Radio, or Chief, are you there?
It might be that we need to probably send him a message. He might have dropped, but I just wanted to take this opportunity again to say welcome to everyone that's joined the space. We're so delighted to have you and to be a part of these very important conversations. So for those that weren't here at the beginning, you might be wondering, why are we talking about citizens registering their disquiet over the SADC chairmanship going to Zimbabwe? and I know that some people, particularly those who are pro ZANU-PF and who don't believe in change, may be thinking that we're not being patriotic. But I think that this is the greatest patriotism that we are demonstrating today, because what we are saying is that at the moment, the conditions in Zimbabwe do not allow for that chair position to be handed over. What the citizens, and that's me and those who are agreeable, would have wanted to see was a pause and a reflection by SADC in asking and challenging, their fellow peer around your elections are never free and fair. There's still violence, there's still human rights abuses in the country. We want to see change. We will pass Zimbabwe and we will come back in 2 years to 3 years. Please fix the country. But what is happening is they're just going ahead with it because they all belong to one in-group. And the majority of those countries within SADC are led by dictators. So we are disappointed and we do want to take action. So thank you so much. Have you managed to get hold of him, of Mambo Shoshe, Mildred?
No, not yet.
Okay, so shall I go to, I think Kaxman had spoken, Trust had spoken. I don't know if Free Zimbabwe had spoken, because they can go next while we try and see how we can get back Mambo Shoshe onto the platform.
My sister, change
Yes.
radio. So before Free Zimbabwe speaks, we were going to pose a number of questions to my brother Trust Ndlovu and also my brother Kaxman. It's great to hear your voice in terms of what are SADC citizens saying about Zimbabwe, what's going on in Zimbabwe. I know some of you guys are in South Africa, some are in Zambia. What do citizens say in general? We know what the leadership of SADC is doing, by their actions. But anyway, those are questions that I hope our two brothers and others who may not be in Zimbabwe currently but are in SADC, if you can weigh in on what citizens are saying about what's going on in Zimbabwe and what they think should happen. Free Zimbabwe, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Chairman. Thank you so much, Change Radio, for the platform that you have given us to air out our greetings, revolutionary greetings to my brothers and sisters on this platform. Thank you so much. My name is Blessing Chikunya, and I'm representing the network of Determined Zimbabwe, UK. What we do is, as an organization, we advocate peace when it comes to as far as Zimbabwean matters are concerned. So our issues, our organization started on the issue of Zimbabwe, because in Zimbabwe we are seeing gross human rights violations, abductions, and a lot of things which results to corruption, constitutional crisis, economic crisis, judiciary crisis, and all those kind of things, only to mention a few. But my advice to us all as individuals, as organizations on this platform, is we all need to join hands. We need to stop this madness before it goes any further. Because if Mnangagwa gets the chairmanship, it's going to be a problem for us as Zimbabwean, and also he's going to destabilize the region. Why is that so? Because he's going to introduce his ill-gotten electoral principles that is going to introduce into other countries. By then, it will stabilize the region, and also the SADC board as a board, it becomes a circus. So we need to stop this. So what I'm simply saying is, all individuals, all groups from all the countries, let's stop this thing before it goes any further. How do we stop this thing? We need to create a definitive action plan. What action plan do we have to do? Is right now we need to actually try to network each other and try to find a way to come to one common goal. Because now what is actually happening is, I'm seeing so many flyers coming in and out saying there's a demo on this day, there's a demo on that day. But we know that these are people who are trying to cause confusion to this. But what I'm simply saying, what we can do is, there is no time that is good to have a demo. A demo we can have the demo at any time. But the question is, are we prepared? Are we prepared to do this? But what we need to do, guys, ladies and gentlemen, we need to know that ZANU-PF is a well-oiled machine. They've got resources at their disposal. They've got parts of the military to their disposal. But what we can simply say is, if we come together, we are able to we will be able to suppress them. We'll be able to subdue them. Even they'll kill us. We will stand up until Zimbabwe is free. We will stand until we set a trajectory that takes Zimbabwe to a new democracy. So that's all that I can say. So I wish that people, they will participate. They will, even those who are sponsoring, even the links, please share the link with us. Then we can post these links to our groups and also to other groups, so that we can actually pool funds together. Let's help to save Zimbabwe. Let's stop this madness. Thank you so much. I give this to the chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother. Very, very encouraging words. We need more voices like you, more organizations everywhere, wherever you are. Let's try to do whatever we can to help our champions, to help those that are on the ground, that are prepared to go and face the enemy head on, be it in Zambia or in Zimbabwe, because this fight is not ending in Zambia. It will go on even into Zimbabwe in August, when Mnangagwa is supposed to become chairperson. So we just have to keep going. We just have to keep fighting, doing what we can, like what our brother just said there. So yeah, I'll give an opportunity to Mr. Cooksman to respond, and then Mr. Ndovu to respond to
for now. Maybe let me quickly respond to that. Thank you, Dr. Ranga. Thank you, everybody, once again. Yes, I've been speaking to people in South Africa, Zimbabweans in South Africa, Zimbabwean SADC, meaning Zimbabweans in Zimbabwe, and Zimbabweans, Botswana, Zambia, Namibia, Lesotho, and even Mozambique. All of the people in Zimbabwe, they are of one accord, not to allow, they are protesting against Mnangagwa being the SADC or being made the SADC chair. It is actually against their interest. In fact, everyone is not happy. But what I've realized that people have expressed helplessness. You hear people saying, "Hey, what can we do? Obviously, we know he is going to be. We can't overpower a body such as SADC because they are heads of states, and Mnangagwa has become one of them." So they express that frustration, helplessness, to say it looked like they are also expressing defeat. But there are some who are very enthusiastic and who are very courageous enough, who are prepared to stand up and fight. We cannot just allow SADC to do such one of the weakest thing ever done. It was not us who observed these elections. The CIOM report is very clear on what happened in the August election 2023 in Zimbabwe. Mnangagwa cannot be the president. Even some of the heads of the states, they actually stayed away during the inauguration of Mnangagwa, which was an express where they expressed their dissatisfaction with the outcome of the result. So the people in the region are actually fighting. They don't want this to happen. And when we reach out, I think we need to do more conscientization. We need to do more. We activists must be in the forefront. We must encourage everyone, every grouping, could be religious, political, civil society, labor, all the groupings which are fighting. We must fight with one voice. I like what the last speaker had said, that we must have an action plan. Yes, we need that action plan. The action plan to be on the ground, not to expect Advocate Nelson Chamisa or any other well-known opposition leader. But we are the Zimbabweans. We can be on the streets. We can organize ourselves like the people of Kenya. We can organize ourselves and go and fight. We need a bit of radicalism. We need a bit of sacrifice. There is no way we can expect, as Zimbabweans, there's no way we can expect others to die for us and to be kept in prisons for us. We need to fight. We are not saying people must just go and die or must go into prison. But if we are really prisoners of our own conscience, we need to be in the forefront. We need to encourage everyone. We need a bit of courage. We need a bit of sacrifice. I know most of Zimbabweans, they are smart people, but we are fighting dictatorship here, which need radicalism. Talking is cheap. I know I'm one of the people who is talking, but we need to make sure that even young people, us, myself included, we need to up our game. That's what I can say. And about the people in SADC in South Africa, they are really boiling. Many people, when you talk to any group of young people, old people, and as long as they are Zimbabweans in different sectors of economy, they are all echoing one thing, to say we no longer want ZANU-PF, we no longer want Mnangagwa. Are we a cursed nation? You can hear the frustration in their expressions, the frustration in the way they talk. If you talk of because most of us here, we are very closer to Zimbabwe. We always go there. Most of the leaders here, I was speaking to one of the leaders, his name, which is a close colleague of mine. He was right in Zimbabwe. He spent about 3 weeks. He just came on Friday back to South Africa. He said, no, if you've been there last month and you go there now, don't expect to see the same situation. Now the situation is worse, which means every day the situation is becoming worse in Zimbabwe in terms of how hard it is for a vulnerable people, for the poor, in order to get bread. To get bread is now a luxury in Zimbabwe. To drink tea every day is now a luxury in Zimbabwe. You cannot, how hard life, how to get money, to get the US dollar in Zimbabwe is very, very difficult. Yes, we got those few, of course, mafias, those who are making money, and most of them, they are well connected. They are living large, they are enjoying. But we talk about maybe 10% of the Zimbabwean population. The majority are suffering. The majority of Zimbabweans, most of you, wherever you are, wherever we are, we have relatives. I know we hear these things every day. So that's how difficult it is, and everyone is encouraging everyone. That's what we are hearing from the ground in South Africa and other neighboring countries. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother-in-law, for that comprehensive response. But I'm not done with you, Prof. Mapendere. If you can come in later. So, if I'm hearing you correctly, you dwelled quite a bit on what Zimbabweans who are in South Africa are saying about the situation back home. I also want to get a sense of what do South Africans say. What do Lesotho citizens say, from what you can gather in terms of how they view our situation. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yes, thank you for that. This is the reason why we have registered the organization which we call SADC, Citizens Democratic Society. You know, many South Africans, they are being limited in participating on the issues of Zimbabwe. And because they're saying we don't have a platform, how can we help you guys? That's what they're saying. We can see that your rights are being violated. You guys, you are displaced from your homes. You guys, you are coming. You have seen a lot. We are reading. We are seeing from social media, from television. We have read the CM report. We have observed the elections. But how best can we help you? Because of if we want to go there, we are told you are foreigners, you cannot come in there. So in our proposal to fight as a bloc, as citizens of SADC, to have an organization which which create a platform for all SADC citizens, which include Zimbabweans, which include South Africans, Lesotho, Zambia, Botswana. Therefore, we are trying to form a united front to fight for the people to be able to say, we are an organization. I'm a South African, but I come from an organization which is fighting for the human rights, for democracy, for free and fair elections in the region, and so forth. So yes, people want to assist us, want to assist Zimbabwe, but they do not know. If you have other ways, leaders on this platform, which we can give the people in our region to help us, because we cannot say to them, go and take guns and fight, for us. We can't say that. We can't, but we want a way of maybe strategies. That's what they're asking. How best can we help you guys? We can see you are trying your best, but Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF, they're just too powerful for you, using their own language. I spoke to some observers who were in Zimbabwe during August 23 elections, and they were also saying the same thing, to say, hey guys, we can see, but unfortunately, some of the things you need a platform, which we use Zimbabweans, you should be in the forefront, but we also need to find out how best we can assist you. Come out with other strategies, They even give examples like during the apartheid, during the fight for apartheid, there was a common goal by SADC, frontline states who were fighting for us. So we want to find a way which we can help to fight for you. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you, Chairman. You'll always be my chairman, and thank you for that comprehensive report. I think that it helps answer some of the questions we have. Chief, I'm about to hand back to you. The thing is, look, we're talking about this protest or doing picketing in Zambia. Why is it important, Chairman, for Zimbabweans to show up? Why is it important for us to be in the lead and to show that we are concerned? Because what Mnangagwa tells the region is that, look, everything is okay in our country, people are being fed and so forth. It's just the sanctions that are causing these problems. When fellow SADC citizens don't see us showing up and showing that we are not happy,
Thank you. So what happened, it is very important, very critical, because this will show that to SADC member states and the international community, the media will be able to capture the dissatisfaction by the Zimbabweans themselves, by Zimbabwean citizens, who would go and make a statement to the whole world, to SADC in particular, and say, we are not happy. and say, you guys, you come out with a SIOM report, and now we are demanding for the SIOM report to be deliberated at that summit, SADC summit, that discussed about the chairmanship of SADC. We want that SIOM report to be discussed. We want Zimbabwe to be on agenda. We do not want Mnangagwa to be the chairman of SADC. Now, those statements, that statement will should be very clear. It will give, because within SADC, I want to be honest with you leaders. Within SADC, we got a people, some who do not want what happened in Zimbabwe. In SADC, we have sympathizers who sympathize with the opposition. The way the opposition was dealt and robbed, and elections were stolen from them. So obviously, if those people, but they don't have a ground, the justifiable ground to stand up and say, hey, Mr. Mnangagwa, you cannot be the chairperson of SADC at the moment. So, because they need Zimbabwean voices, they need us as Zimbabweans to stand up, and this is one of the platforms. It's unfortunate that we only have this opportunity alone, but I think we can as well create other opportunities where we can raise our voice, where we can make such statements clear to SADC and the international community. We want to rally behind, to mobilize and recruit as many Zimbabweans and conscientize as many organizations from within and outside Zimbabwe, from everywhere, to say, if we can flood the social media with this kind of voice, one united voice against what SADC is likely to do, is planning to do. Because from some reports, obviously, we hear that SADC member states have already voted for Mnangagwa. It's a matter of formalizing it in Zimbabwe. That is something, but the only thing that can stop that is Zimbabweans themselves. And that is why you see Zimbabwe was interfering in Zambia to say, no, Zambia must not even allow such demonstrations. This shows how serious, and this shows how important our gathering, our protest is. Because our protest has the capacity to prevent Mnangagwa from being a chairperson of SADC. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ndlovu. Okay. I do have someone on the phone, Mr. Mavoko, Honorable Mavoko from Botswana. Honorable Mavoko was one of our candidates in Mashonaland East, one of those that were rigged by ZANU-PF, but he didn't give up. He is still fighting. He is still in the trenches. He is one of those leaders that are organizing Zimbabweans in Botswana. So, Honorable Mavoko, over to you. We have heard from South Africa. We are still to hear from Namibia and Zambia. We also heard from our youth, Cooksman. So, what's going on in Botswana? What's the state of preparedness to the protests in Zambia? Over to you.
I'm sorry for joining late, but I think there's still time for me to express myself. I want to appreciate all Zimbabweans who are listening today, because it is very important for us to always share ideas. And
right, you can hold on a second, Honorable. Can you hear Honorable Mavoko?
Yes, we
can. Go ahead, Honorable.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I was saying I do want to appreciate everyone who is listening today, because it is very important for Zimbabwe that Zimbabweans rise up with one voice to speak and condemn the evil that is continuing to be happening in our country. The fact that some people are listening from different parts of the world is proof that it is not well back home. So we cannot just sit and relax and say, okay, things are going to fix themselves back home. We need to do something to continue putting pressure, even if it means continuing the pressure when nothing is happening. We need to continue doing it. Because what is really happening is that we have seen that in our region, in this SADC region, Zimbabwe is the first country to stage a military coup and have the whole region pass a blind eye, and also have them endorse this military coup and continue working with the coup leaders like nothing of that sort happened. So in democratic dispensations, this is quite sinister. You know, it's worrisome that we have got leaders who were genuinely elected in their own countries who still want to go ahead and endorse someone who got into power through a coup. After that coup, the same leader goes ahead and rigs elections. We say in 2018, elections were rigged. We tried to challenge the elections through courts. And we also, what happened? The courts delivered some judgments, you know, some evidence were disregarded. Still, SADC passed a blind eye. We come again, 23. There was clear violation of electoral laws in Zimbabwe. There was clear electoral rigging in Zimbabwe, and there was proof because Sion from SADC, the EU electoral observer mission, whichever team which came to observe elections in Zimbabwe gave a negative response, a negative report about the election. That makes those elections incredible, and the leader who came out from that result illegitimate. After that election, the same leader goes ahead and grabs the party. He creates a pony that he puts into our party. They grab our seats, they recall MPs, they replace them with their own preferred candidates. They continue playing debt upon us as Zimbabweans, and we are not expected to remain silent. We should do something. There are a lot of things that to reclaim our lost dignity, to reclaim our who are masquerading as leaders. If you look at how the truth is coming out in the open, you know, it's one thing to try and hide the truth, and then you find that the truth will always find its way out. Who would have thought that Chivayo, in his own words, would give us, that evidence that ZEC did not conduct itself as a non-partial body. He clearly told us that he was the one who was in charge with Chigumba, and they got some money, they got paid money, dirty money, so that elections will be manipulated in Zimbabwe. What else do we need? If you look at up and push these people, for example, if we can engage every or most of the opposition leaders who are influential within the SADC region, they need to challenge their government and ask them, what example are they setting as president? If one man can stage a coup and then they can pass a blind eye, the next rigged election they pass a blind eye, what example are they setting? Does it mean that this same thing would happen in their countries and they can still behave like nothing happened? So we find that as Zimbabweans, we need to do a lot. We need to stand up. We need to speak out. We need to use whatever we can. We need to exploit every means that is at our disposal. We cannot continue having Mnangagwa ruin our country. You know, the level of looting that is happening in Zimbabwe is disheartening. In Zimbabwe, we talk of millions, like as if we are talking about a million bonds or a million RTGS or ZIC. We are talking of $1 million US. Money that could have developed our country, money that could have put our country forward, money that could have empowered our youth, money that could have created a lot of jobs in Zimbabwe, but that money is simply being looted by a few individuals, while the rest are wallowing in poverty. So we need to continue fighting this. So In Botswana, what we are doing now is we are busy rallying people behind us so that we can travel together to Zambia and express this view to the world, so that the world will know that SADC is deliberately ignoring Zimbabwe's scope. We have been calling for a peaceful resolution of the Zimbabwean election dispute. We have been calling for SADC to sit down and make sure that there is supposed to be a fresh election that happens in Zimbabwe. What we are doing is not supposed to be done by our presidential candidate, Chamisa. We as citizens, we need to stand up and challenge SADC, because SADC is there to protect citizens. It's not there to protect only the incumbents. We need to make sure that we demand equality to prevail in Zimbabwe. We make sure that we take the fight to their doorstep as SADC. Otherwise, we don't need to focus on Mnangagwa very much. We need to focus on SADC now, because they are the ones who deployed that observer mission, which reported that the elections were not credible. So whatever they are going to do as SADC, we need to keep on fighting SADC. We don't need to talk about Mnangagwa. Let's put him out of the picture. We talk with SADC. We continue piling up the pressure to SADC. If it means we need to engage people like Julius Malema and the other influential leaders of opposition parties in the southern region, we need to talk to them so that they also increase this pressure. They also make their voices heard about this issue, so that SADC will need to repossess its influence and to repossess its integrity. Because right now, it's as if it's just a joking organ. That is what I have right now.
Thank you, Honorable, for that presentation. Dr. Ranga, I know you always have questions.
Chief, of course, that goes without saying. Honorable, thank you so much for that analysis in terms of what's going on with SADC. So, SADC leaders, they look at us and they say, you citizens have been quiet. And there are just a few activists who are just making a lot of noise. How do we address that so that our voices as citizens are louder and everyone realizes that this is not just a few activists? And why is it also important for these SADC leaders to know that the elections also have what the elections have to do with the state of our economy, for instance? Because people will say, you guys just want to take power. You didn't win. So, what is your comment on that?
We need to continue. The few that can say something at the moment should continue saying it out, because what's happening is the majority of our citizens are in Zimbabwe. They are oppressed to the extent that they are afraid, they are living in fear. Not all of them can say something. So the few that are outside the country, those who can manage to talk, they should say, and the leaders of SADC should not ignore those few voices, because oppression does not allow someone to speak out while it is within the region of oppression. So I would say we need to continue speaking out, regardless of them saying only a few people are saying something. We need to continue saying something, because they are not the ones who knows how oppressed we are. We are the ones who knows how painful the shoe is.
Thank you, Honorable. I have another one for you. So I have heard comments, you hear everything. I'm sure you're hearing a lot in Botswana. We hear it here in America and maybe in the UK. People argue that, well, these activists are just passionate. They don't have the expertise. So things we better deal with the devil, we know, than, the citizens, because if they take over, we may end up with a country that's falling apart, like what's happening in Somalia and so forth. I'm not sure how prepared you are to answer this question, but I think it's a question you keep hearing. Some will say, these are just activists. They're passionate. They don't have what it takes. But listening to you, you have a clear understanding of what's going on in Zimbabwe and what's going on in the region. What do you say to those people who say, you guys, if you take over, everything will fall apart? Do we have the professionals who can run the country?
Okay, Doctor. Thank you very much for such a question. You know what happens is that some don't understand that when you are a leader, you are leading. You know, with that passion, that there's that inner drive that pushes you because you have got capacity. For example, you have been living in America. I've been living in Botswana. In Shona, we say kugaranaka wona tewama. You know, good governance does not need a lot of degrees to have to be said that one is 7 degrees and he can lead. No, that's not it. Even these guys who are leading us today, when they after the liberation war was after ceasefire, well, when they came back to Zimbabwe, they had little capacity, they had no capacity at all, but they were given a chance. So we are saying, give us that chance to lead Zimbabwe. There was a speech which was delivered by our presidential candidate in Gweru. He said that the moment I get into power, the moment we get power, we are going to say we are going to do away with the ZIG, we are going to do away with the bond note. We are going to make sure that we start over with a stable currency that will make everyone stable. That will make sure that people are earning something that is of value. But look now, we are maybe, we would say we are almost a year after elections. People are being forced to accept ZIG as a currency. And that ZIG is not even available in the streets. That ZIG is not even available in the banks in Zimbabwe. That ZIG is not available for everyone to transact with it. So you'd see that, yes, he could have been saying imaginary things, but at least whatever he was saying, it has hope. It had hope for Zimbabweans. So the same message is what we will say to those people who are doubting us. We have got the capacity because we have traveled the country, we have traveled across the world, we have traveled across the continent, and you know how governments are run. So it won't be simply because people are able to speak. We are also practical.
Thank you, Honorable. I think my sister Mildred has a question, Chief.
Thank you, Dr. Anga. Not necessarily a question, but just a thought and an observation, having heard from Honorable Mr. Ndlovu, Cooksman, and the other speakers. I think what we need to realize as Zimbabweans and as citizens is this is a revolution now. You know, what seems to be lacking is a coordinated approach. But also, you know, we need to think about the fact that, you know, a revolution should yield change, should yield result. And we should not stop until we see that change, until we see that result. But also, being part of a revolution means making sacrifices. And, you know, there are so many people and so many organizations in the diaspora who can do so much. It's not just about being on the ground. It's not just about protesting. It's about being able to coordinate. And like I said, having that coordinated and organized approach. I think this is where we're lacking as the Zimbabwean people. And I think this is where we need to start thinking about how we do that. Because as much as the, you know, people in South Africa, people in Botswana want to help and they sympathize, we need to lead this revolution. I think I will stop there. Thank you.
Chief, back to you. I'm done with the question.
So, okay.
Thank you, Sister Mildred.
I want to just respond and say his last remarks and also your words to the people that are here in terms of helping the efforts that you have started in Zambia. Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much, Chief. Yeah, I would want to appreciate those words of encouragement from Sister Mildred. Thank you very much for that message. We continue relying much on you guys because we know that our comrades from back home and those who are this side, some of them, they are living in tight corners. You know, they might not be as free as you guys are. So what I think is we need to continue working together. Coordination starts, you know, from one or two people, then from there, the team grows. Let us continue working together. Let us continue sharing ideas and encouraging each other. Currently, as we plan towards this Zambian trip, we need those who can help us with whatever they have to take as many Zimbabweans as possible from Botswana. Then we travel with them to Zambia, and then we stage our protest peacefully, and we come back to Botswana as well. These countries that we are living in, they are half diaspora. It's not like we are in a full diaspora where you get everything. It's quite difficult this side. And this year it's the year of election, so there are challenges in terms of financial stability of our comrades. But we know that the will will be there. So I'm appealing to everyone who is listening today so that this goal will be reality. We need to travel to Zambia, we need to show up, and we need to do something. We need to continue our pressure, we need to pile up our pressure to the SADC region so that at the end of the day, Zimbabwe will be free. We are here to lead, we are here to listen to everyone, and also to play a role so that dictatorship ends in Zimbabwe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable. And to those that are here, this is not a call to act from Chief Shoshe. I know people will be saying, Chief Inespirational. Now we are hearing it from the horse's mouth that there's need for help. If you want to help, I don't know, Champion Patricia, if you have the link or if we can also provide the number to Honorable Mafoko, those who want to contribute in Botswana, in Africa, you can always contact this gentleman directly. Mr. Ndofu is still here. Mr. Mafoko is here. And those that are here, I'm sure Change Radio can provide a link. We are always hesitant to do that because when we gather and we talk about money and then eventually nothing really comes out, people will just be saying Change Radio collected money. Change Radio collected money. And when sometimes there would be no money that would have been collected. So we always try to stay away from things that have to do with money. But under pressure of wanting to make sure that the event goes on, we can avail the link so that those that can help can help. It doesn't matter how much because people in Zambia need help. We've talked about the students that needs transport to and from the venue. We also have Zimbabweans in neighboring towns and cities, Kariba, Wange, that are keen to traveling. Some of them have already started off, but they need accommodation, they need food. And I thought this is something that Zimbabweans would be keen to helping with. So please do whatever you can. While we're waiting for the other speakers, we still have Mr. Bondi saying he's here from Namibia, but I'm not seeing him. Please do request a mic and also text me so that we know which handle we are using. And we still have other speakers. Champion Patricia, our guest speaker from Zambia, if you can get hold of him, and then we move on. DJ Prof, you can take it away and play a song as we take a short break, but we will be right back. And while DJ Prof is preparing for his song, because I know I just came to him unaware. Let me take the opportunity to welcome our viewers and listeners on YouTube. I'm seeing plenty of you there on TikTok. We are also live on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining. Please do write comments or in the comment section, wherever you are. We'll try to read your comments from here. Thank you. Over to you, DJ Prof. I can't let you. I can't let you. I can't let you.
One or two things zvokuti tikokwanisa kuita sevana vezimbabwe kwese kwese kwatiri handiti hanzi noumwe kuva pagiraundi hazvirevi kuti ndizvo unokwanisa kuita chete kana uri muzimbabwe hausikoti ndizvo unokwanisa kuita chete unokwanisa kukontribhuta uri kwese kwese kwaunenge uri handiti pasi rose tinoziva kuti mazimbabwe makatekeshera kwese kwese kwamuri handiti ka Change Radio basa rangu inini chete kungopa vanhu mimhanzi yavanenge vachida kunzwa nekutaura zvakasiyana siyana but chirongwa chaicho chaicho aika chine varidzi vengoma kunzwa zvakanaka naka mimhanzi yatiri kurova nemweya wechigandanga panizvinizvi kutotaura kuti kana zviri zvesadhaki chazvo ngazvitombomiswa kuti mi
It looks like DJ Prof he has been disconnected, but while he is coming back, I'm seeing my brother here, Mr. Elisha Chambara from Namibia, the former chairperson for Namibia, a man of God. I'm sure you will leave us a prayer for the event that we're trying. DJ Prof,
pachida pakumasvingo kuti adzokadzidzongera jira mushamba kana razva mushamba harite zvokutamba zimbabwe vauchita zvokutokunya chaiko chaiko kupunya chaiko chaiko avenues demonstrate show that the Mnangagwa government is illegitimate government in Zimbabwe. Any platform that come out close to us, take it with both hands. Zimbabwe dara anondiitira idzozi dzidzo ngoma dzakaita kuti vakomana nevasikana vanguva iyoyo vana Mnangagwa vaende kuhondo kuchingatitadzisa chiinai anditoti nguva yakawanda tiri panapa tirika kuita kuti vanhu vanotora mvura nekunwa vachidzoka vachigara pazvigaro zvavo chimbopesusa vanenge vasara vari panapa tirika vazokuparira malegensi waya saka kuti malegensi anotirangadza zvinhu zvakasiyana siyana tirika kunyanya kuti tingadzika yedu yeZimbabwe izva zvinoita malegensi izwa kwamapendesa nyika manje nekuramba kungoteerera chete vakomana hurumende dzaTF ngaidi zvibhorani kumusha zvibhorani mudhorobha ati ndobva ndatsvakusikira zvangu rega ndidzosere kuvaridzwe chirongwa chifu
aiwa svikirwai zvenyu mukanya tinoombera tiri pano tinoziva mutupo asi pamazongoti Mnangagwa kuhondo Mnangagwa asina kumboenda kuhondo zvaive zvakawanda muZambia umu hazvina kana kutobata futi chaiko hazvina but anyway thank you very much DJ Prof for the music. I think you came prepared for the moment. These songs that you are playing are inspiring. Let's go to our champion Elisha Chambara from Namibia, the former chairperson for Namibia, a man of God. And I've already said, please, before you leave, do give us a prayer for the event that we are having in Zambia. But also do take time to update us on what Zimbabweans in Namibia are doing. Are you on your way? Are some of you already on their way to Zambia? Over to you.
Oh, thank you so much. Good evening, good day to everyone. Thank you, Patriotism, Chief Sose. Yeah, no, definitely we'll do that. We'll leave you with a word of prayer so that when we do our journey and our plans will be in line with the word of God, and also it will be guided by the Almighty, so that people who are going to travel and
Is it just me not? I think, Chairman Chambara, something is happening with your mic.
Try again.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes. Loud and clear now.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
All right. I'd already said thank you so much for this opportunity, and I've greeted everyone who's here. And I also agreed to what Chief Soso has said, that definitely I'll always leave you guys with a word of prayer so that everything that we organize will go on well. And as I was saying, that most of the things pertaining to the SADC report has already been said by many speakers here. So I will not go into that and repeat what has been said already. And I think most of us, we know what the report and what has been said in that report. But I just want to make a point that that report by the SADC, the recommendations were not just suggestions, but these are important reforms that must be implemented.
Is it me, Dr. Ranga, or?
We've lost him again, Chief.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you might have to go out and come back again. Meanwhile, we'll go to, is it Queen Nandi? And then to Mr. Pamela.
Good afternoon, everybody. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. And my contribution to this platform is that I just feel that as Zimbabweans, we are just maybe kind of too learned and too educated. I think for a moment we need to take off our graduation hats and put them aside if we really need to find our way to freedom. We are dealing with a regime that has captured everything in the country, right? And we are not going to get our freedom through the regular means by following the law, because the justice system is captured. So we have to think outside the box. And in terms of dealing with SADC, I think for now it's time to drop the diplomacy with SADC. SADC is not our friend. They are not our friend. They are not on our side. They have been playing games with us for the longest time. And we have the report, which is very clear that the election in Zimbabwe was rigged. That report is not the only report on the table. Every other organization that came to observe the elections in Zimbabwe has said that the elections were not free and fair. And so everybody is aware. Most African leaders know that ED is a corrupt leader. He's a thug. He facilitates all the thugs that are operating within Southern Africa. He hides criminals in Zimbabwe. He hides all criminal proceedings in Zimbabwe. He facilitates all the thuggery things that go on in Southern Africa. And yet they are prepared to give him the highest position, the highest administrative office in Southern Africa. And they are going to hand over that office to him under the guise that the chairmanship is not coming to Mnangagwa, it's coming to the country. And my question to SADC is, this is a question that I would actually like to ask somebody in SADC face to face and demand an answer, to say, when you say the chairmanship is not coming to ED, it's coming to Zimbabwe. Are you coming to Zimbabwe and going somewhere in Murambinda and crowning the people in Murambinda with the SADC chairmanship. Because they need to stop hoodwinking us. They are treating us like sheep, not even like sheep. They are treating us like lambs who do not think. And they need to stop treating us like we are stupid. The SADC chairmanship is not coming to Zimbabwe, it's coming to ED. We need to stop with this narrative because we are being treated like idiots and we need to say stop. We are not idiots. The fact that we don't have guns to fire back when we are shot at does not mean that we don't think. The SADC, they are giving this chairmanship to ED. Unless if they're saying they're coming to Zimbabwe, then they're going to call Anasekuru Vedu from Maruzeva, they're going to call Nambuya Vedu, they're going to call us to go wherever the summit is going on, and they're going to give us the crown or whatever it is that's given to the chairman. And we are all going to be crowned chairmen of SADC, and ED will be sitting by the corner and clapping for us. Then everything that they're saying is BS. So we just need to confront SADC. SADC is not our friend. But also what I wanted to say is that when we show up for this protest, we need to show up in our vast numbers, because I think a little number is not going to move the SADC. We need to show up in our numbers to show them that we are really serious, so that they're left with no choice but to look at ED and say, look, Mr. Mnangagwa, we really cannot do this. This looks bad. It makes SADC looks bad. It makes SADC look bad in the eyes of the world, in the eyes of their donors. Let's make it look so bad that they are left with no choice but to fold their arms. Even the people that want to support him, even the people that he's busy stealing with, we know that ED is hiding money on behalf of Edgar Lungu. All the money that Edgar Lungu stole in Zambia when he was selling things, he was selling forests, he was selling, like illegal things that he was stealing in Zambia. All that money is being hidden by ED all over the place. So that's what they reward him for. He is the king thug, and they all owe him. Let's make it difficult for them to reward him for all that, because they are owing him. But when you talk about the bringing freedom to the country, right? American freedom was fought by like 3% of the Americans. They fought for the freedom of America, and they brought freedom to America. We need, I think we kind of need leadership in Zimbabwe, because we are not a very brave people, unfortunately. And this is really not our fault, because we've been oppressed for so long. We have been living in poverty for so long that we don't have the bravery that another free people would have, because confidence comes from being independent, being self-reliant, just waking up every morning and knowing where your food is, knowing where your children are going to school. If you don't have that, and every day you rely on somebody for your sustenance, you become a sheep. So I think we need to be coordinated, and we need some kind of radicalism, like another speaker said here. We need a lion amongst us to lead us, so that the lions in all of us can come out. I think that's my take for now. But I think we really need to confront SADC for now, and they're not our friends. Let's drop the diplomacy. We are done with the diplomacy, because they keep fooling us, and they keep hoodwinking us, and they keep treating us like kids. We are done with that. They can't kill us in Zambia. They can't shoot us in Zambia. Let's show up in our numbers. If people need to be bussed, I think let's raise funds. Let's do this. We have not had an opportunity to demonstrate in Zimbabwe for the past, I think, since the shutdowns that Trangirai did. Before then, we have not had an opportunity to demonstrate. We have been afraid. That's given. We had our excuses. Our youth, they must show up. This is their future, because the future is coming and going. So many people have been born while this government was in office, and they have died, and they've never known. Some people have died. Bacon. They don't know the taste of bacon. Even these soldiers who shoot us on the streets, they don't know the taste of bacon. So come on, let's just show up in our vast numbers and show these guys that, look, we are afraid of being shot in Zimbabwe, but we are not stupid. Let's do this. We can do this. Let's raise funds. $10, $10. I mean, let's show up in our numbers, and then this will encourage future demonstrations. If we show up in Zambia, it will be easier to demonstrate in Zimbabwe. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, my sister. Yeah, she speaks like a true Menoazwa. Thank you, Menoazwa, for that. We appreciate. I hope people are listening. That's where we need to be, where we are all prepared to die for our country, break a leg for our country, do anything that you can. If you know that you're not going to be able to be part of the protest, get into your pocket, into your purse, and put a $10, whatever it is, so that those who are on the ground can be there and do what they have to do. I know my brother Pamire, I had said you were coming to you, but I'm seeing here Mr. Maposa from Zambia has just joined us, and I know he has been struggling with network. So my apologies. We'll come back. We'll come right to you after Mr. Maposa. Mr. Maposa, please go ahead.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Good day to you all. I know I wasn't scheduled to speak because I was away and I was struggling in between to get hold of Chief Sose. However, we are grappling with a lot of load shedding here. That's why you find you probably won't have a lot of people from Zambia joining in. We will, however, try and ensure that we spread the message across. I am the former SG, and I now hold a new position in the SADC thing, which we wait for the official announcement. You are all welcome, those that are able to travel to Zambia. We will share the little that we have to ensure that we will make it a success. If there is need for transport, we will ensure that we try and make it available for those that need to travel. However, what we are in need now is a petition, a draft petition. If anybody from this platform can, it would be helpful so that we can start distributing to the media houses, to the embassies, wherever we can, way before the 11th, so that at least they are aware that there is something rumbling on the ground, and that there is definitely going to be something that is going to happen on the 11th. I do agree to the last speaker in a way, but look, when they hand this thing to Zimbabwe, they're literally handing it to Zimbabwe through Mnangagwa. He's going to be the spokesperson, so this kind of crap that they're handing it to Zimbabwe is child's talk indeed. So without really wasting time, yes, you are free to come through. Those that are coming through, please make an effort to get in touch with us. We will try and do, like I said, the best that we can. And I think Chief knows that in the past, we have issued petitions to the embassy. We have approached the media. I think some time back, I got the chief connected to some members of parliament. So yes, we're willing even to take that to the Speaker of Parliament. It's a fairly open environment here that I think there is sympathy for Zimbabwe in general. And I've got a feeling that we will be able to voice out, be it in a mass demonstration or with a few that will go through without too much of a hindrance. You just get the feel on the ground that everyone else is asking the question, what are you doing about it? So if we are able to stage this and speak out, then people should know that yes, although the government in Zimbabwe is hostile, but given the opportunity to, we will be able to, or we are able to voice out our discontent with the government in Zimbabwe. So like what Chief said, please feel free, get in touch with us. I'm back in the country now. You know, we have been reduced to scavengers. So if there's a good deal go Europe, we are quick to go there. If there's a good deal in Africa, we rush there. Because literally, that's what we've been reduced to. And those that benefit from that are actually our host countries and not our Zimbabwe. So thank you so much. Like I said, please, what we need now is a draft petition. If you can send it through to Chief will get it through to me, and we can start in all earnest distributing it to everyone, even to the men in the street. We will. So thank you so much.
Thank you, SG. Once in SG, always in SG. And thank you for your support to the struggle. We appreciate you. I have to apologize. Maybe I should not be apologetic about it. Today I had to do something that I had never done before. I had to remove Padare here because we are discussing our own thing. If he wants to come back with another handle, he can. But today he's not speaking. Today we are not allowing him to mess with everything that we are doing here. We are given the mandate, by the way. Last week when we were having another discussion, we gave Padare the mic, and he, almost, got us, out of what we are discussing. So today, as I heard Mr. Maposa saying what he was saying, I said he should not be hearing this. So I removed him. My apologies for that, for those that are too democratic, that want democracy so much that they want us to have a discussion with Mnangagwa, his children, and all his cronies here while we are plotting against them. But anyway, we move on. Thank you very much, Mr. Maposa, and for the work that you have already started in Zambia. And we have heard so far, to those that are just joining us, we have heard from our champions in South Africa. They are on their way, they are preparing. And we also have heard from Honorable Mavoko from Botswana. And they are also preparing to go to Zambia. And when we're disrupted by network, we're hearing from our brother, Mr. Chambara from Namibia. And we are still to hear from the assigned speaker from Zambia. You heard Mr. Maposa was not supposed to speak, but he had just to come in. So we're still to hear from our guest speaker, Kalimbwe. I'm sure Patricia is dealing with that, and he will be here. We have already heard from one of our youth, Cooksman. I'm sure he's still here. If he is still here, we are going to give him another opportunity to speak. We want the youth to be part of this. We want the youth to be here. So if you are here, again, like I said before, some of the UZ students that we are working with at Change Radio, if you are here, if you manage to join despite the network and the load shedding in Zimbabwe and Zambia, so please do request the mic or text me so that we can give you the mic. Let me go to my brother Model Pamire in UK, one of the people that support. And I know he's going to come up with support for Zambia as well. Over to you, Mr. Pamire.
Thank you, Chief Sosa. Thank you, everyone here. I'm used to the word champions. Thanks so much, champions, for organizing this platform with this event, and champions in South Africa, champion in love, and also champion America, Ranga, and Zambia and Botswana. Thanks for everyone for organizing this. I just want to say, Abasha Chikonyonga, Abasha Mnangagwa, Abasha Mnangagwa, Pasina Mnangagwa. Struggle, win this struggle. A luta continua. Tinokunda, we will win this fight together. But to win this fight, comrades, we need a collective mind, a collective decision. We need resources. We need, because we're fighting an enemy, a lion. So we need resources. People on the ground, they need resources. We don't need, I know, Mutara Churungu Serega, so let's do resources rather than Churungu. Whatever you said, leaders here, is very important, but we need resources. To win a fight, we need resources. We know we need to talk, but at times we want to do anything without resources. I thought someone is going to say, I'm going to play 50, 100. But everyone is just playing English. I know ideas are very important in the struggle. They'll make us win the fight, but we need resources. We'll never reach anyone without resources. We are fighting an enemy with all resources, controlling everything. So we need resources in this. Put your tenor, your fight for your friends. At least we leave this platform with at least 1,000, which will help people in Zambia. That's what I want to say. We cannot do anything without resources as champions. Let's talk. I admire Kenyans, the kind of Kenyans. Everyone, and I Papa, I just 100 pounds. 100 pounds. And they were more than 100. Imagine how much Maria Kawana within an hour. This is what we want. This is a struggle. That's what we want. We can speak good English, good Shona, whatever you speak, or good Debele, but we want resources. We want your ideas, but we want resources. Without resources, your ideas will never work. We need resources. Before you leave this platform, make sure your good English, your good language, produce a good 100 or a good 50 or a good 20. We want resources. Aluta continua. Thank you. Over to you, Chief Source.
Saka mama 100 mangani mamtala nese 100 Kenya, my brother.
I'm encouraging the people here, the citizen, and then we move in, we contribute.
Yeah,
because we need resources. For the war to win this struggle, we need resources. We don't need your language.
Manje ndimi leader manje. Mochito vamatotanga.
I will contribute mine. We need resources here.
My brother Pamire, you know, there is a link up there, coffee link, Change Radio. So please hit my brother Pamire's call. We definitely need resources. There is no struggle, there is no movement that can go on without resources. He is absolutely right. I agree with you, my brother. So anybody, $5, $10, whatever you can give, let's give it. It's us, the citizens, who are going to make things happen, nobody else. Thank you.
So my brother Pamire.
Go ahead.
Mkoma wangu. Mati muluku batira Zambia ne mari.
I'm going to calculate, I'm going to give my donation, and everyone will follow.
Okay, good. Good. Very good. And please, when you do that, let us know so that it encourages other people. Because we look up to people like you to get the ball rolling. I'm going to do my $50 as soon as I finish speaking here, so that we get going. Whatever we can raise, it will help. You heard Mr. Maposa saying they are doing what they can as people in Zambia, as Zimbabweans in Zambia, but also as Honorable Mavoko said, that you can be saying people in Botswana are in the diaspora, but they're actually struggling. Most of our brothers and sisters in South Africa, in Zambia, in Botswana, they might be there. They say for electricity and water. And so network, Wi-Fi. But otherwise, nothing is really coming out of there. You see comrades that want to travel, that want to do something in the struggle, but they can't do it because they are limited with what they are getting there. So if we help them with something, that will really be great. We want to move on. Okay.
Chief, well, I was just going to also add to that to say, listen, there are some people who envision with a protest on SWA 11 or whatever date. Protest it starts online, it happens online. So placards, and we are the people wherever we are in the world, my Zimbabweans. We are the people who make all those things happen in Zambia, happen in Zimbabwe, happen everywhere. People look at Twitter. When ZANU-PF says that, that they worry that we do what we are doing now. So never underestimate your contribution. You might be saying, so what is my role? I'm in the UK or I'm in the US or whatever, wherever. I'm Spanish. So this is your opportunity. Do what you can. The link is there. Yeah, Change Radio Coffee. Just go there. We've been using this link for God knows how long. And you know how these people are still complaining. Makareza this, and blah, 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 blah. So it's impactful. Anyway, Chief, that's all I wanted to say. The link is up there.
And when you do, please do write Zambia. Just write Zambia where you can just write Zambia so that it will be easy for us to see that this has been donated for that. But of course, even if you do not, we'll go with the dates and the time. So let's try to come through for Zambia. Like Dr. Ranga was saying, these things do not just happen. I've been involved in many demonstrations in Zimbabwe and outside Zimbabwe. You see a big crowd, you see a lot of people. Even the demonstrations that you see here in America or that are done by the British, they do not just happen. They are organized, at the grassroots level. There is a way that people connect with each other, organize each other. They have to be organized. When we see them out there, you think they just happened. But there is a lot that must go behind the scenes, a lot of mobilization, a lot of calling each other. Here in North America, when you are trying to go to the United Nations, when we want to go to the embassy, we use what we call the phonathon, where we assign people to be calling people. Are you attending the demo? Are you going to be there? If it is a fundraiser for that particular demo, we'll be asking how much are you giving to the demo, and so forth and so forth. You saw the demonstration that happened here when someone black has been killed, and then you see a lot of people demonstrating, protesting. You think it just happened organically. You think people just happen to be in the streets, and then someone said, let's get in the streets. No, there is a lot that happens in the background. And this is part of the background. There have been a lot of meetings. These are people that we're talking to, Honorable Mavoko, Mr. Trust Ndlovu, Mr. Chambara from Namibia. They've been meeting on a daily basis, planning and making sure that everything goes well. Mr. Maposa in Zambia and the people in Zambia, Mr. Mute and others, they've been meeting, trying to get a permit, going to that office and that office and that office. So these are the things that are happening in the back office. We are on Twitter, but we are still part of the back office. And the result of all the efforts that people are making, that we are doing here, we have to see them on the 11th and on the 12th. Sometimes we are successful, sometimes we are not successful. And I know that people can point out that, oh, Chief, we did this and that, and that demonstration was never there. And I want to say those things happen in the struggle. I apologize profusely for instances like that. But the key is we want everything that we plan to succeed. But sometimes it doesn't happen like that. We want all the demonstrations that we plan to succeed. We want everything that we go into, even an election. You know, it's not like people just go into an election. Some people will be saying, oh, you guys, you always go into an election, you know that you're going to lose. You know they've done anything. I'm telling you, there is a lot that would have been put in place to safeguard the election, to make sure that there's transfer of power, people talk to people, you know, emissaries are sent, whatever people do behind the scenes, some that you don't even want to hear here, it's done. You know, people can say, point fingers to President Chamisa and other people that we keep repeating. Please extend, open your heart and do whatever you can. Let's move on.
Hello, sorry, I know we've got other speakers here, but I'm just pledging my $50 as well. Mambo tanga mchita very diplomatic about money. Abasina zvekunyaarana bana. We want money. Sezvataurwa na my organ, Mr. Pamire. This is a call to act, guys. We need to really vamp it up. You know, zvekunyaarana, as Zimbabweans, when it comes to money, we're very coy, we're very shy. But you know, like I said, it's a revolution. We need to act. Saka Chief Ambodanga diplomatic, but makubuda pachena now. So the speakers that are coming up, if you haven't spoken, please give us your pledge before you speak, because as Mr. Pamire said, we need resources. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Champion Mildred. I was Mwenowazu, but she spoke like a Mwenowazu. Thank you very much for that. We move on. Change Radio, are you still there? Okay. I think she's running around trying to get Joseph Kalimbwe to come. But meanwhile, we have people that are here. This is our program. It's the citizens event, citizens program. We want you to speak up. Dr. Quinn.
Good evening, champions. I hope I'm clear. Thank you for the opportunity. The host, Change Radio, co-host, Chief Shoshe, all organizations represented, all citizens, friends, Nima sympathizers. I don't want to repeat a lot of things that have been said already, but there is just one question that I want to clarify that I'm hearing from different spaces in the media. A question like this one, to say, why waste time because SADC heads of state have been bought already or are equally corrupt? They will come, they will hear us demonstrating, they will see us demonstrating, and they will do nothing about it. Now, I want to answer this as a way of encouraging people, those who have got that mentality, that these demos are for the whole world. Our Madematrikitawa are for the citizens of each country, of every continent, the whole country in the world. So we'll be appealing to the conscience of all members of parliaments in different countries, political activists in Africa, other countries, and also, even if the heads of states or presidents ignore, but when they go back to their countries, their people, their members of parliament, opposition members in their parliament, activists will question them to say, this that we saw, demonstrations that happened in Zimbabwe, in Namibia, in South Africa, or in Zambia, what are you doing about it? So please, these people that have got this mentality, please let's help them to understand that we are not only doing this for the members, the presidents, even if Chirwakatemba, when they go back, they are going to be questioned by their people. And also, I would like also to point out that, hello, am I audible? Chief Soshe?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead.
Oh, thank you. So I'd like to say this, maybe to say that mbudzi kuzvarira pavanhu unzi ntandirwe imbwa. Mbudzi tisu masizende eZimbabwe tiri kutozvarira to the whole world kuti titandirwe imbwa. Imbwa munoiziva ndatoreva. Saka tinoziva kuti chemberi yakashayika last August for my elections. Imvi dzirongorotswa nezano. So we're going back to what my sister had said. Myself, I'm a former CC treasurer for Limpopo. Saka nyaya dzemariwo ndo dzandine nchidawo kuti ndifambe nadzo. Saka I'm pledging my $50.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kundi. That's what we want, people that stand up and speak up very loudly, so that we end up doing collectively something that helps Zimbabwe. Thank you very much, Dr. Kundi, for that. Let's all follow through, or also follow what others have done, what my sister Mildred has done, what Dr. Kundi has done, and what Dr. Ranga is about to do, what Patricia is about to do, what my sister Minwazo is going to do, and what EMK, the next speaker, is going to do as he or she comes up. Over to you, EMK. It looks like EMK is not hearing me. We go to Lord Commander of Tokwe. I like that name.
Hello. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to speak, Chief Soshe and your team. I really appreciate your efforts and stuff. I'm not sure what has been said before because I've been kicked out from the platform before when I joined. So I don't know what was happening with. It could be my internet connection. Like the last speaker has just been saying, we are not necessarily doing this for Zimbabwe alone. We are actually, this is like a world platform. The demonstrations are addressed, especially in the SADC region. I was with the opinion that all the SADC region member states have been invited to join these demonstrations. Be it they are not the Zimbabweans. Even if you apply, invite South Africans and tell them this is the situation where this is the reason why we are demonstrating. The Malemas of this world will join and support this kind of venture. Go to every SADC country and they need to know SADC is ignoring their own report. So then why would they want to do? Why would they want to do such a thing of ignoring their own report? And then, so why the whole thing becomes like? Honestly, sometimes I get so frustrated with this issue about SADC and not really like standing up to its own member. This is not like a boys' club. The message should be across to everybody to say, we are not going to accept this. It's not only Zimbabweans who should be demonstrating. It should be the whole SADC region should stand up and say, let's respect our own laws and rules and guidance, so that SADC becomes respectable. So if they've got rules and guidance and then they ignore them, who should respect and who should follow these rules and guidance? My submissions will end with the pledge that I'll put also my 2 cents in it. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you very much, Lord Commander. We appreciate your commitment to serve using your donation. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. We have now been joined by Tinashe. Tinashe, you can go ahead. Please, if you want to contribute, if you want to say something, if you want to make a difference in what is happening in Zambia, please feel free to request the mic so that we can do this together. Like my brother was saying, we just need to do something. SADC knows that there were, a plethora of irregularities in our elections, and they are ready to do something. I speak to some of the people within SADC or some that are closer to what happens even in these meetings. They are saying, Zimbabweans, we waited for you. We wanted you to do something when your election was stolen, but you did not do anything. How could we have gone ahead? We were ready to order a fresh election if Zimbabweans had just stepped out. Someone here said that ED goes around telling the people, telling SADC that Zimbabweans have gone past the election. They have accepted that, yes, there were problems within our elections, but they've accepted the results and they've moved on and they're going about their lives. Look, there is peace in Zimbabwe. Look at what is happening in other African countries. In our country, there is peace. No one is in the streets. No one is protesting. It tells you that we are an able government. We have spoken to our people and they've understood our challenges. And that's the reason why there are no protests, because they've moved on. They've accepted that mistakes were made, but we are one. That's the language that ED and ZANU-PF people will be using in SADC meetings. So what do you expect SADC to do in such a scenario? Because surely there will be peace in inverted commas. There will be peace in Zimbabwe. No one is saying anything. No one is doing anything. So they wanted Zimbabweans to step up and do something. And that's exactly what we are doing right now. And I'm telling you, if Zimbabweans come in their thousands, in their hundreds, and speak with their voices and speak loudly in Zambia and say, we do not want this man to become chairperson of SADC, they are going to listen. Because like Varakash would come here and tell you that this SADC chairmanship is not given to an individual. It's given to the country, to Zimbabwe. We are Zimbabwe. We are the Zimbabweans. We are the people. And we are saying we do not want this person that you are saying you are giving the chairmanship on behalf of Zimbabwe, on behalf of us. The us are saying we don't want him to become chairperson. How do you think SADC is going to go about that? Do you think they're still going to give him the chairmanship. If we really stand up, if we really speak up, and we write a petition and we sign it and we say, this is we, the people of Zimbabwe, you begin to see things happening from there. But we need to make this protest a success. If there are 10 people, if there are 20 people, that's not going to move anyone. We need numbers at this protest. Please go ahead. The next speaker, who was that? I can't see that speaker anymore. Okay, Macbeth. You can go ahead, Macbeth. Go ahead, Macbeth.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's a great move. The only way to go forward is forcing SADC to stand on its words when it comes to Zimbabwe elections. So there's no way that they can contradict on itself. SADC can contradict on itself. When they say Zimbabwe selection were not free and fair, they have to act as according to what they said, forcing the organization to act as according to what it is said, not giving ZANU-PF or not giving Mnangagwa the chairmanship. Yes, in Zimbabwe, we're even afraid of the machines that they are using, the military machines, to silence us. We're even afraid to die. But if it starts with like what is happening in Zambia, it starts with South Africa, it goes on to Malawi, just forcing SADC to comply on what he said. It will be a good move, and it will also help us Zimbabweans when it comes on that day, SADC, when it comes here for that meeting. It will help us for us to just cry to them, because the outcry will be just heard. Like if you studied in Zambia, it's not better another in a great way. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother. We appreciate that. Champion Mildred, can you see anyone that I'm not seeing here who wants to speak?
No, there's no one, Chief. Please do grab the mic if you want to contribute. We value your views and opinions. This is a call to act, and we, you know, as citizens, these matters affect us. What we're saying is, you know, there's an opportunity here for us to be heard in Zambia. I think, like Queen Andy said, we have failed to demonstrate and protest in Zimbabwe, but we have this opportunity to do so in Zambia. And what we're asking is two things: that Zimbabwe be on the agenda, one, to challenge the chairmanship of Mnangagwa. And SADC will probably say this is a rotational position, but like Champion Patricia said earlier, there are matters that need to be addressed before that chairmanship is given to Zimbabwe. They need to answer in terms of the electoral observation mission report, but also the illegitimacy of the elections. So this is an opportunity for us Zimbabweans to act. This is an opportunity for us to get involved and to make sure SADC is answerable for those things. And as it's been said, we need resources. We need to mobilize people. We need to support people who are going to Zambia. So the link has been pinned up there. Please, please, there is no amount too small. We need to act. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much, Mildred. Dara wangu Mpariwa, I've been waiting for you to, I've been trying to give you the mic. I can't, you're not accepting it. Now I'm just making it public here that I want you up here, not because you are a generous donor, but I have a question to ask you. I saw you writing something on the group with regards to the 16 women that were made to undress themselves in some place in Zimbabwe, and you made a comment. I really wanted you to share that comment with people here because it's in line with what we are discussing here. So please do request the mic or accept the mic that I'm trying to hand you And then Tino, you can go ahead. You can speak now. Let's hear from you. Tino, you can go ahead. Muroji, Mada, please do request the mic. We want to hear from you. Mwendas, or DJ Prof, Mainda Kupi was answered out Muzombo. So please do come back, DJ Prof. My sister Mercy, Wilkes, we want to hear from you. And everyone else, really, please do request the mic. This is a program not for the speakers. It's a program for all of us, for Zimbabweans to speak out. Please go ahead, Tino.
I think Tino is connecting, is no longer here. But I saw Macbeth had their hand up. But Tino is sort of coming in and out.
Oh, okay. Macbeth, please go ahead.
Yeah, and the name I'm seeing by donation about Pani paper, Nini, cause no access to those things, you know, to say,
that's for you, Champion Patricia. Are you in UK or in where are you?
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe. Oh, okay. Yeah. We have to reach out to you if you are in Zimbabwe, and yeah, I'll reach out to you, my brother. Thank you very much. We really appreciate. You know, it's touching when you see someone in Zimbabwe wanting to donate. It should move everyone who is here to want to do something. Thank you very much for that. Maybe while we're waiting for other speakers to come up, I'll go to Mwenawazo. Queen, please, a few words from you as we wait for one of our speakers. Okay, it looks like Mwenawazo can't speak right now. Over to you, Patricia.
Okay, thank you so much. I think I'll just start off by plugging in some of the things that we are doing in the UK. So whilst the focus of the space is SADC Summit, there are also other things that are happening in Zimbabwe, as everybody is aware about the Avondale 78. So this is former Senator Timber, who was arrested along with others when they had gathered at his home. And since their arrest, they have been denied bail. And one of the things that we're doing in the UK is that on Tuesday, the 9th of July at 3 p.m., we are going to be at Parliament Square, which is in Westminster, just opposite Parliament, for 2 hours. And we are going to be joined by UK MPs, so Lord Johnny Oates of Liberal Democrats, and then there will be other MPs from other political parties that are going to come, and they are going to be calling out the Zimbabwe regime and asking them to release the Avondale 78. And for them to adhere to the Constitution and to the United Nations human rights, which they ought to. But what we find is that anyone that is linked or that is perceived to be aligned to President Chamisa is targeted for arrest, is targeted for persecution. And so this doesn't really surprise us when we see Honorable for Timber and the others, because of that affiliation to President Chamisa. It's unacceptable. We need to call it out. And so that is one of the reasons why we are here tonight to ask SADC to reflect on their decision of handing over the chair to Mnangagwa because of the gross human rights violations that go as far back as 1980. You know, if we think back to Kukraundi, and then all the elections that have been held in Zimbabwe have been bloody, loss of life. And in all of this, if you trace back to Kukraundi, the name that keeps coming up and up is, you know, a key figure in those abuses is Idi Mnangagwa. He features all the time, and he's still there today, and he's featuring all the time. He never speaks out. He just never speaks out against all the atrocities. He never speaks out when people are abducted. He never speaks up when women are raped. In August, the elections just gone last year, women were raped. They're traumatized. In 2019, the fewer protests, again, 50 plus women were raped. He doesn't talk about it. His wife doesn't talk about it. And what SADC should really be doing is passing Zimbabwe for now and saying, actually, we are not going to hand you the chairmanship until you fix these things, until you stop persecuting your own people, because they haven't done anything wrong. All we are asking for is to be treated with dignity and respect. We want leaders that care for the people, leaders that are going to grow our economy, grow employment, in which everybody is free and fair to vote who they want to vote for to lead them, but also where people have the opportunity to create their own wealth because they have access to the wealth and to the resources. In Zimbabwe, if you're not aligned to ZANU-PF, you're highly unlikely to succeed. Everything is linked to them. The tenders, the businesses that are progressing or that are doing really well, when you dig deep, every one of those is linked or aligned or in some sort of in-group with the ruling party. And that is unacceptable because it means that millions of people are left out of that. It's only a few that are benefiting. And that has a huge impact on the young people of Zimbabwe. So these are people that are aged between under 35, and they make up 67% of Zimbabwe. So it has one of the youngest populations in Africa, and in the whole of Africa, actually. It's a very young population. And we are so glad with what happened in Kenya, although, you know, the loss of life wasn't what we were hoping or expecting for. But people stood up in Kenya and they are fighting back. And I think someone mentioned here, as it was Dr. Ranga who talked about President Ruto coming to the space. And I listened to that space. At first, when I saw President Ruto speaking, I thought, no, this has to be a parody. It can't be him. He can't be on a space. Then I went on the space, and it was him speaking to his people, speaking to the Gen Z, because he heard their voice and he had to take notice. And why did he do that? Because he wants respect. He wants the world to respect him. Because he just doesn't deal with Kenya. He just doesn't deal with Africa, but he's got the whole world. You know, he's got Europe, he's got Asia, he's got America, business deals, trade, and all of those things are happening. And so he needed to demonstrate not only to his own people, but to the world that, yes, I'm a president. Yes, we got it wrong. Yes, we want to fix it. What do you want? How can I fix things? That's the kind of leadership that we want. There's more change that is needed in Kenya. They're not stopping. They're demanding for more. In fact, they're calling for him to leave. They're calling for him to go. But he did stop and he did listen. And that's what we want to happen in Zimbabwe. We want Mnangagwa to stop. We want him to listen. So we hope that some of these protests or marches that are going to be happening around the time that he will for the first time take notice and respond. And we do it by pushing the countries that are surrounding him. So the SADC countries that are surrounding him, citizens who are living in those countries rise up. They talk to their governments, and hopefully their governments will then talk to him. So we don't know what's going to happen. We know that they'll hand it over to Zimbabwe. They'll definitely be doing that. But that noise is needed so that they can understand that people are not happy, and that what we seek for, what we desire for is change. We want our country to progress. We want the abuses, the unlawful killings, the murders to stop. We want everyone to have a voice. We want freedom of press. But right now in Zimbabwe, there isn't anything called freedom of press. The whole country is totally broken. We don't have our own currency. We're like orphans in our own country, and we want all of those things to change. So, it's a big ask for citizens to rise up and to demand that change. But it's important that we do it. And someone might be thinking, but you are based in the diaspora, you are safe and you're all that. People had to leave the country, and people are leaving the country. Zimbabwe is being drained as we speak. For those that live in England, you know about the healthcare workers that have come to work in here. More and more are coming, more and more are going to other countries. Everyone is fleeing Zimbabwe because there's nothing for them in the country. So the country is bleeding. People that have experience, people that are educated. I remember at one time there was 1 or 2 surgeons in the whole country because people just decided that they'd had enough. Some of us want to go back home, but there is the fear. If I go back home, what will happen to me? First of all, my life. Will I be safe in that country? Financially, how will I be able to sustain myself? Because people don't get pensions. There's just no support. There's nothing. That's why we are gathered here tonight, to put our heads together so that we can fight. We can fight together. In the diaspora, our fight is amplifying the messages of those in Zimbabwe who are suffering. We keep on our agenda the human rights abuses, the persecutions, the murders. We keep those voices. We speak on their behalf because they can't. We protest because we can. And in other countries, other leaders will be hearing what we are talking about. They may not say much, but they know what's happening in Zimbabwe. And then the third thing, which is the critical thing, is that we give money. We give money. We donate. We donate. Why do we donate? Because those resources are what we use to help people that are on the ground. When people are doing the marches, they need water, they need transport, sometimes they'll need regalia, they'll need flyers, they'll need all sorts of things. Sometimes people get hurt, and then they need to go to the hospital because, in Africa, sometimes things are not as safe as we are here, even in Zambia, South Africa, Botswana, wherever the marches will be happening, anything can happen. And those people who put themselves on the line, when that happens to them, they need us, and we need to be their financial backers. We need to be the people that can help them get to a hospital, get seen by a doctor, get treated. Sometimes people need to go to safe houses, and if you're going to go to a safe house, you need money. You need money, and so so that's why we need to come in and to give the resources. That one pound is important, like Tesco, every little helps. So that £1, that $1 really helps. So please do click on the link and go and give something so that we can support with resources. And I was sort of laughing when my champion model was talking earlier, saying that you're speaking English here, you're speaking whatever you're speaking, but without resources, it's all in vain. And that is so true. We can come up with the most brilliant of ideas, but without the resources, without that financial backing, it is all in the air. It just evaporates and nothing comes out of it. So please, if you can't be there in person, you can help by giving. Please click on the link. Thank you so much, everyone.
Wow, powerful champion there. Those who have ears have heard, and those who are going to hit the call are going to hit the call. But that's what we need to do in this struggle. I know it's not easy, it's difficult, it's painful, but that's why we call it struggle. It's called a struggle because it is indeed a struggle. You have to struggle to get the money. You have to go and do a shift for you to part with that $20 or to afford to part with $50 or whatever you are going to part with today. You are struggling. You don't have it. Nobody has it. But you painfully give because it's a struggle. We are in a struggle where you have to sacrifice to do something so that we can get something out of that. I'm seeing Mr. Mpariwa is here. Mr. Mpariwa, you were writing on the group at one time, and it was a very sad story. I know it's a little bit out of the way, but it has to do with what we are discussing here, the will of the people. If you can recount what you were saying on that group, and then also comment on what we are supposed to achieve in Zambia. And of course, whatever you can give at the end of the day, whether it's $10 or $20, it will be greatly appreciated. Over to you, Mr. Mpariwa. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief. I've been having problems with the technology. That's why all this while I was trying to get back on and get myself online. Firstly, thank you very much to everybody who is here, and thank you, Chief Sose, for keeping the fire burning, as it were, and everybody else who has kept the struggle going. Thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. The struggle is not by one person or about one person. It is collective. It is all that we can do as individuals. Whatever it is that I can do should be enough, as long as the goal is the same. In Shona, the Ashunyarwa, Pachefitori on the Ashunyarwa. Basically, what it means is whatever it is that you are doing, as long as it is towards achieving that goal here of the independence and the freedom that we need, it is greatly appreciated. The issue that you are referring to, Chief Sose, is it's basically the same issue that we're talking about here. There have been lots of reports in the mail, on social media, in the news, about what's been happening, where you have officials. This one is specifically about what happened in somewhere in Nkai, they say, where some education official went over to the school and things went going well, and they, at the end of the day, got 16 teachers stripped naked in order to find out whatever it is that they wanted to find out. And I reacted to this story in the sense that I really questioned why it is that you would have Manmakuru, 16 of them, being subjected to such kind of humiliation and that. And to me, it's sort of like reverberated onto what is happening in the country. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, we as Zimbabweans have been brought down to that state where we are Tarehuku. There's a poet who said Tirihuku some time back, and it is that kind of feeling that sort of got to me when I was reading that story. And it is the same thing that we have right now. We're talking about Mnangagwa getting the chairpersonship. Okay, it's fine. It is something that was that always had to happen. I mean, it's rotational. But here's the question: what did we as Zimbabweans do after the SADC report had been brought out? What did we do when we heard that SADC is clearly saying, "Aywa, these things did not go well. These elections were fake and false," right? What did we do as Zimbabweans? All we had to do, to be honest, was just go out onto the street, not even go out onto the street, but just say, no, hakuna zvakadero. This is not going to happen. SADC has supported us. What did we do instead? We just went back into our usual selves. Mwari vachapindira, ningirikini chamisa dai. And that is the kind of feeling that I believe we have to start fighting against. It is each and every one of us who has the power to be able to do something about our situation. There is nobody. I've heard you, Chiefs, also citing quite a lot this saying that we are our own liberators, right? And no one is there to come and save us. We have to do it ourselves. So that is basically where I come from, and where I feel the power that we have as individuals. We don't seem to be aware of how much power we have. I've seen this graphic. I don't know if some of you have seen it, where you have a politician who is standing over the precipice, and he's standing on a plank, and the rest of the people are on the other side, and they're all standing there, and he is making lots of noise, and all that the people have to do is start moving away. Once they move away from there, he's going down. We don't seem to have that realization in us that ndiri one inini ndikatsamwa zvakakwana, next person akatsamwa zvakakwanawo, next person akatsamwa zvakakwana. By the end of the day, the whole street will be up in arms. We don't need anybody to lead us. The Kenyans are showing us exactly what happens. Kana munhu one akatsamwa, mumwe next akajoina, next one akajoina, next one akajoina. At the end of the day, you don't have anybody to go and say, "Good, I'm looking for the leaders of this revolution. I'm looking for the leaders," because there are no leaders. It is the people that have gotten angry, and it is the people who are now saying enough is enough. So, without saying too much, I think. Basically, I don't know how we can do it, but we need to raise it, bring back the same spirit. If you look at the youths in Kenya, and try and think back at the youths when what got them angry and what got them out. It's exactly what they went out to fight against, where we are right now. And the Kenyan youths, they've just done exactly that. That's what we need to be able to raise and to bring up Muvan Velu, without looking for a leader, without thinking about kuti ningi ndio chanditungamira, ningi ndio chanditrace. Munhu ega pari papo. It's the power of one. Once it's combined, definitely we will overcome everyone else. I thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much, my brother. You're very right. Liberators do not exist. People are waiting for one person to liberate them. People even want President Chamisa to go in the street and die for them. And then that's when they're going to believe that he's a true liberator. But according to Che Guevara, it's not me, it's Che Guevara who said liberators do not exist. The people must liberate themselves. we must liberate ourselves. That's how it happens everywhere else. If we look up to one person, it's never going to work. If we look up to a few individuals, you will always be disappointed. We have to do this ourselves as Zimbabweans. And like the story that Mr. Mpariwa was relating, that 16 people get asked to strip naked by one person who doesn't have a gun. He wasn't even the headmaster. This was at a school. He wasn't even the headmaster, but he had that power to tell people, 16 people, to strip naked. How would we allow something like that to happen? And I'm sure those people wanted the headmaster to come in and save them. But there are 16 people against one person who doesn't have a gun. That's exactly the situation where we are in Zimbabwe, that we are the majority. The people that do not want Emerson Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF are the majority. The people that are experiencing, going through the excruciating pain that is being caused by Mnangagwa's, lack of governance skills are the majority. We are the majority, but we're not doing anything about it. Even the soldiers, the so-called soldiers and police, we outnumber them by a lot. Look at what is happening in Kenya. The soldiers were being dragged. The soldiers were being beaten up because they are outnumbered. So it just shows you the amount of power that we have as people, as citizens. People power. We have the power. We just need to understand the power that we have and believe that we can do it. I think I'll hand over to Mildred. I can see. I thought you had dropped. Over to you, Champion Mildred.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you, Mr. Mpariwa. It's been a powerful space. We've engaged, and I think we've come.
Chief, did you say something?
Yeah, Champion Mildred is speaking.
Oh, I can't hear you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sister Mildred.
Dr. Ranga. Fine for speaking, actually, to pay Mari. Anyway, so saying, I think we need to round off. We've had some really good engagement, and I think we've had some resolutions that we need to act on. I think it was Mr. Maposa who was talking about a petition, but also the call to act in terms of resources. So our link will remain on our X handle. Please continue to give. There's no amount too small when it comes to the struggle. So can I ask all the speakers to please request the mic so that they can give us their final submissions, and that way we can come to a close. Dr. Ranga, I will start with you. Your final submissions, please.
Dr. Ranga,
he was talking.
I didn't hear, Chief. Sorry, somehow I couldn't hear Sister Mildred.
It says you can give your final submission and your donation. That's what she said.
I am done with the donation, Chief, and I hope everyone here on the space has donated something. $5, 10, 15, it will make a big difference. So I encourage everyone to do so. So I have done my patriotic duty as a Zimbabwean citizen, and I encourage everyone here, please do the same and never underestimate what your contribution will do. That's why it's called crowdfunding. So $5 from one, $1 from the other, 15 from the other, it's going to make a big difference. And we need to do that. And I know that as citizens, we've been asked to do a lot, and we are still going to be asked to do a lot. The only time maybe we can take a little breath is when we get to have a citizen-centered government that we feel is catering for the needs of our people adequately. So that this could every 2 minutes to go on a message from home, saying, Maria school fees, Mama say that can't be our story as Zimbabwean citizens. So this is the patriotic duty for us to do everything we can so that we change the course or the trajectory of our country. It's us who are going to do it. Nobody else is coming to do it. So in terms of my closing remarks, I know that people talk about my protests, for instance, and say, my protests are ashande. Well, the first protest you can do is protest with your wallet. The second one you can do is you can do this online. You don't have to be on the ground in Zimbabwe. You need to be talking about what's not working in our country and what country we want to see. That doesn't take anything extra. Number 3, you say, I'll get targeted. Okay, use a pseudonym, whatever else, a ghost account. Accounts 10. Ndosaka vari kupuwa dzimota dziya dzavari kupuwa maakwa kuti you did a great job muri varakashi because murakashi one anenge ane 50 ghost accounts. So we really don't have an excuse for not participating. And also people need to understand that change cannot happen until you get involved. And guys being here on this space is getting involved, and we do appreciate coming here, and we appreciate Change Radio. Please support Change Radio wherever you are. This is the voice of the citizens, the voice of everyone. I'll also say something about the protests also. People who say, we protest in our country. Chief Soshe mentioned that we outnumber ZANU-PF. We outnumber the military people. And most of the military people and the police, they support progressive causes. There is no police officer who says, I support a dispensation. You know, nobody supports that in Zimbabwe, including those in the CIO, the military, the police. So we need to keep protesting in every way possible. Yes, Nonzi, they marched around Jericho, which got the walls of Jericho, Adona. It takes participation. It takes relentlessness. It's not just one big event. People always look and say, look at what they're doing in Kenya. Like I mentioned earlier, the protests that we are doing in Zambia or anywhere else in SADC are already happening. We're doing them online every day through these activities. Kunema hashtags, Chief, last week we brought President Peter Mtasa, the Crisis Coalition Zimbabwe, and he talked about Stand Up for Zimbabwe campaign. That's a campaign to make Zimbabwe better, is a hashtag. And I just saw another hashtag that just came up, Zimbabwe Arise campaign, where we are saying no to 2030, no to dynasty, no to corruption, no to G, no to this, no to that, no to that. Anything that's not working in our country, we will only rest when that is no longer part of our story. So we have a lot of work to do. For us to do that, we need to organize ourselves. We need a leaderless movement, which won't, people will come, Dr. Ranga, they'll come after me. But if all of us, wherever we are, participate, like we are doing here today, it's going to be very difficult. And guess what? When 2008, and those who are now running the government told everyone to say, that cabal, no, you're going nowhere, Mugabe, you're going nowhere. So anyway, the outer is achieved, but thank you. We look forward to work being done in Zambia, and we hope that SADC gets to understand that this is not just about, we want Zimbabwe to work, and when Zimbabwe works, it works for SADC. Saka zvavala kuitira SADC is kuti vana ED vanema who are targeted, we have targeted restrictions kunana America, kunana UK ndo vakupa chairmanship. It's madness. It just shows lack of foresight. It means the whole region is gonna suffer because we're giving criminals to say ndimi watakuita machairperson in a whole organizations in SADC. And I hope that my ordinary citizens in the different SADC countries understand the implications of what their leaders are doing. Anyway, Chief, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Ranga. Mr. Maposa, if he's still here, please request for the mic. Cooksman, KB Legend, Mr. Glove, if he's still here, and also DJ Prof, please request the mic so that you can play us out when we're done. Macbeth, could we hear your final submissions, your closing remarks, please?
Thank you, Mildred. For them years back to go to, they were shaken by what was being done by Smithry. So for the same cause, now we have to be agitated also, because the Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF regime are just doing the same as Smith regime was doing to the Zimbabweans then. The Smith regime had some laws and statutes which were denying Zimbabweans to be free. Same as Mnangagwa's regime is also denying Zimbabwe to be free in the so-called independent Zimbabwe. You cannot speak for yourself in Zimbabwe. Even the police are even captured. Same things that were happening in Smith's police, in Smith's time with the police, they were captured. That's what happened in the Smith, in the Mnangagwa regime. So there's a cause for us to fight. There's a cause for us to have a demo here on space, a demo anyway that can make noise. Thank you. I think all what was said is very correct. Even in Tinebasa, chara chimwe chitsvaninda. Hasha dzako nedzangu nedzauro dzikasangana. Panobhoila chinhu. Thank you so much. Mambo Shoshe, don't forget us, vari kuZimbabwe vada kuisawo $5 avo.
I'll remind him, thank you. So don't worry, I'll remind him. Thank you so much, very powerful submissions. Mr. Maposa, thank you for coming back. Could we hear from you, please?
Yes, thank you. I already have confirmation of some people who are traveling to Zambia. So those that intend traveling to Zambia, please get in touch. Like I said, I have buses, so I've made available 2 30-seater buses in Lusaka and 2 vehicles as well. So please feel free. The rest, even Tikarara train, that's fine. Even Wakarwira Nyika, we're doing the same. So that should be at the back of our minds. We are those that are able to, and we promise we will make as much noise as we can. Do not tender. But lastly, it will happen. We hosted 2 weeks ago. We hosted Bachibaya and Austalos. It was just like 12 hours notice, but we managed to gather in crowds, and we did. So we are come through. We will make as much noise as we can. Do not tender.
Thank you, Mr. Maposa. Thank you for your dedication. We will support you 100%. Mr. Mparewa, are you there? Would like to hear from you, your final submissions.
Thank you very much. My final submission would be just simply to say, let's keep the fire going, let's keep the struggle going. A luta continua, and the main thing, most important thing is let's get our people out of the mindset. Because if it is somebody going to come and save us, SADC and all the other organizations that we can think of can only be at the forefront, but we, the people, are the ones who are able, who should be able to tell them what to do, not for them to be able to tell. I want to mean I am going to say the people have the power, and it's the people that have got to realize the power that we have as Zimbabweans and as Africans, and let's keep that fight going. Thank you.
Thank you. Very powerful, Martin Squira. The power is in the people. Queen Nandi, are you there? Can we hear from you, your final submissions?
I just want to say that we know that the pressure can work. Let's keep the pressure up, and let's go out in our numbers and protest, and we know that we can achieve results. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Before we come to you to close, Chief, Champion Patricia, any final words?
Yes, just to say, let's keep doing what we are doing. Call to action. If you can't be there, please do give the resources. We're going to be sharing the Change Radio coffee link on our social media platforms. In the UK, if you are in the UK, particularly in southeastern London, Tuesday, 9th of July, 3 p.m., we are going to be at Parliament Square. Our nearest tube station is Westminster. This is opposite Parliament. We are going to be joined by UK MPs who include it. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming to this space.
Thank you, and thank you for hosting us. Chief, can you give us your final comments, and you can close the space. Chief, are you there?
Maybe he's experiencing challenges.
Yeah, I think he's gone.
It's dropped, yeah.
He's probably reconnecting. Okay, he's dropped. Champion Patricia, could you give us those dates and times for the UK protest again?
Yes, so it's Tuesday, 9th of July, 3 p.m. at Parliament Square, which is just opposite the Parliament. Nearest tube station is Westminster. We will be joined by Lord Johnny Oates of the Liberal Democrats, alongside some other MPs, and they have a call to action, and the call to action is asking the Zimbabwe government to release the Avondale 78. So would really appreciate those that can come. Please meet us there. Thank you.
Thank you, Champion Patricia. This has been really good. We've come out with resolutions. I think Machines Kurameka. It's time for action. We can't keep talking and talking and talking and talking the same language but not acting. So there's a call to act here. We've got an opportunity that we cannot miss. We want SADC to hear us. We want them to have Zimbabwe on the agenda, and we want to be heard as a nation. But we have to be at the forefront of this struggle. We can't expect our sympathizers and other people to be fighting our struggle. We have to be at the forefront. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for this space. Like Champion Patricia said, we will keep the link on our handle. Please donate as little and as much as you can. Our brother, Mr. Macbeth, either Champion Patricia or Chief will get back to you about how you can contribute and donate from Zimbabwe. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.